We are going to play a Deep Elf. That's what I wanted to do. Deep Elf, Conjurer. Let's hope that this time it goes well. Conjurations, no, spellcasting to 4, and then conjurations to 8. There we go. Let me switch to tiles as well. So yeah, just pressing tab, running around in the dungeon, hoping that I don't find something absurd early in the game. I do think that spellcasters have more resistance to absurdity than standard characters. There's quite a lot of. Yeah, okay. This is already a pretty good start with a bunch of very cheap consumables. All that I have to do is find some money, and then I'll have a good game. Conjurations time. Okay. Searing Ray. Not quivering Searing Ray yet, since it really like it costs literally twice as much as Magic Dart, right? So I better not abuse it once I only have 9 mana. That's quite a lot of good luck that we have gotten with the Staff of Conjuration on D1. We also have another staff, which is a Staff of Cold. I'm gonna pick it up because staves give you the elemental resistance. Staff of Earth and Staff of Conjuration don't give you any resistances. I wonder why that is. I got a bit lucky. My 9 mana was enough to kill those jackals. Mm, I wonder how much base damage my Magic Dart has. It is already at 100% power. It's 1 dice of 8. Searing Ray deals 2 dice of 7, so not bad at all. Um, we didn't really get enough experience for level 3, but it's okay. I'm gonna buy one of these scrolls, this one, and then we shall see how it goes. I don't want to have anything to do with 3 nulls. 3 nulls on D2 is not what we want to see. I think it's a bit of a shame that they generate so early into the game so consistently. It's very, very common for you to see null bans on D2. Mm, or like maybe it's like that psychological phenomenon where you're more likely to remember bad things than good things happening, and the two nulls are a very very bad thing that, in my opinion, shouldn't happen at all, but it happens regardless. Um, we are going to use Searing Ray for the Wormy because the Wormy has ridiculously large amounts of HP, and it also has regen. Might as well burst it down while we can. We found Devastator, but we have no use for Devastator. Devastator is a weapon that scales very heavily with the base damage of the attack that you dealt, and since my attacks don't really, they're not gonna deal high damage. They have like it's 4 base strength damage or like melee attacks, so yeah, it's never gonna get any use. But I'm still gonna carry it because it's very rare to find one of the early game on Brandarts in the actual early game. That guy had with its weapon. It doesn't even say what weapon it was. I just saw that it was polearm. I think it was a spear because if it had been a halberd, it would have shown more than 12 damage because now the damage is added. Oh wow, that's pretty bad. Yeah. Okay, I need to leave this level. I guess those guys are already up, so whatever. Those guys already being up allows me to just come here, pick up my helmet, um, maybe even pick up that potion, and then just like leave the level because I still don't want to have anything to do with those guys. Maybe later, but not for now. Orc Wizard could be scary. I'm gonna switch to Searing Ray for it. Searing Ray gets the job done. There's another one. Okay, this is a bit too much for D3. 2 Orc Wizards in the same fight. Yeah, what about no? I still don't want to have anything to do with the nulls. Though at this point I suspect that I kind of like stand a significantly better chance at killing them than I did when I first entered the level. I still don't want to mess with them. So these are gonna be my trainings moving forward, like 8 conjurations, 8 translocations, and 12 spellcasting. Because I think Mystic Blast is easily one of the best spells that any spellcasting school gets access to in the game as it is nowadays. Most of the other contenders were nerfed into the ground. Sandblast and Frozen Ramparts were absolutely gutted, so those ones are out of the contention for best spell that a background starts with. Hmm. That's a pretty good trident with fire resistance. I will absolutely pick that up and wield it if I need to have fire resistance. We shall see how that goes. I got +2 boots. Yeah, we have been getting some pretty good gear this game. Um, I have this slight suspicion that sometimes you get like winner seats that actually like have the basic things that you need to win the game, and then you just win the game. But then you have the seats that you get to do like bolts, and you don't have willpower or so, and then you obviously die because there's like it's almost impossible to survive that. You need to get lucky in addition to being extremely good. But like eventually, like being so weak will force you to run out of consumables, and then you die next time you pick a fight without consumables, because that's just how it is. Um, I think Seeing Gray may kill Terrans, but I am not so sure. And since in this version, getting away from monsters is the most annoying thing ever, I would rather just avoid it. So I'm looking for the sewer. I haven't found it. I don't know where it is. Okay, I got a message. Yeah, it says nearby. I don't know where it is. Oh, it's probably somewhere around here. Yeah. Very difficult to find that. You know, early game bolts, like time bolts, are just like a matter of luck. You get lucky to find them, then you can go in. Otherwise, you're not going to, obviously. But it's not like you have magic mapping or something. Um, in occasions like these where like I miss it, it's like fine because it's like if it hadn't generated at all. After all, they don't generate all the time, right? Not every game that you have has a portal vault generate. Mm, so finding it is as much of a matter of luck as actually having it generate in the first place. It was also in a very well hidden place. Like auto travel didn't take me anywhere close to that. Menkaure next to me. I wonder if I can make a run for the stairs. Yeah, that's fine. I can absolutely make a run for the stairs. Yeah, pretty scary. I'm glad that Menkaure is not speed 10. A speed 10 Menkaure would have killed me there. D4Bs. Very, very, very bad. I don't have anything identified. I think that some people are under the impression that I don't identify things to like use them during combat, but like that's not really the correct thing to do. The correct thing to do is to go into combat with things identified, knowing what you have access to, like what are your resources. And I just like constantly forget to do it before I get into a nasty situation, and then I have to re-identify until I die. To be completely fair, there's been situations where that has directly killed me, but I feel like it also is pretty helpful sometimes. Not always, and I definitely don't recommend you to do it. I think that, as I already mentioned, the correct thing to do is to have access to every resource that you have whenever you truly need it. So really identify stuff outside of combat and that kind of thing. Unless you're feeling particularly greedy and you're like looking for immolation or so, that's kind of reasonable, though you still run into the potential risk of finding torment instead of immolation or so, and then dying as a result of that. Talking about immolation, maybe this would be a good time to immolation, but not really. I am probably gonna die if I fight these guys. I wish I had a potion of 3. I don't think I have it. I do have teleport identified, so might as well go for it. Curing? That was curing. All right. Yeah. Since it was my biggest stack, I thought that it was gonna be curing. One of those potions in the shop on D1 was curing, so it very drastically raised in price after I identified curing. That was another reason why I didn't really want to use my consumables right now, because I knew that those D1 consumables were gonna be more expensive if I did that. Oh, come on. Yeah. Monsters with high evasion are just ridiculous. I wonder why they exist. I hate trying to hit a monster and then failing to hit it, especially in this version, since it punishes you so like ridiculously for like missing. Um, what I'm trying to say is like monsters will hit you. Your evasion doesn't matter. You can have 60 evasion and monsters are still gonna hit you whenever you don't want them to do so. But you cannot hit them whenever you really need to hit them. It just feels bad. I don't think evasion is a good mechanic, whether it is for the monsters or for the players. Mm, okay, let's buy everything except for the overpriced potions of curing. I'll come back for those later, maybe. I'm probably gonna forget about it. But anyway, now that I have access to those consumables, I guess we can re-identify some stuff. Hopefully try to find a scroll of identify. That sucks. Yeah, that's the reason not to re-identify. Let's see if I find any more scrolls of linking, because it is not uncommon to just like not find any more if you re-identify one. Mm, so I read literally everything, and I didn't get a scroll of identify. From all the scrolls that I had, I can't believe that I didn't have the most common one that exists in the game, which is the scroll of identify. Mm, pretty unfortunate. This level I should leave. I should leave this level because of the bees, not because of Menkaure. Menkaure is like it's not whatever. It is definitely dangerous, but it is not as dangerous as the bees. Any single bee can get a couple of good rolls and kill me. And in fact, I am so afraid of the bees getting good evasion rolls that I am not even gonna try to sitting raid them anymore. I have magic dart, I guess. Hello, K-Man. Thank you for stopping by. Good to see you around. I hope that 0.29 has been treating you well. Deep Elf Conjurer is what we are playing today, yes. I shouldn't fight that center. It can easily kill me. Yep, shouldn't fight that because it just deals more damage than I do, faster. And it also has enough HP to not die to the things that I'm doing. Because monsters cheat and are significantly more powerful than the player. You want your Vampire Brigand with Wujian. Felt strong going for Baraki. I felt pretty good on my Baraki run this tournament. I thought that was it was a pretty good combination. Going Baraki, Swords, Chevriados. Yeah, no complaints about that. Throughout almost the entirety of the run, I felt pretty powerful. I think the lowest point of that character was Lair Branch, but every character's lowest point is Lair Branch, just because Lair Branches are ridiculous in this version. And they have been ridiculous for quite a while. I wonder if they're gonna get nerfed at some point, the Lair Branches. It's been already a couple of versions, so maybe it's about time that they get nerfed. After all, nerfs take a couple of versions, but or like buffs to the players take a couple of versions, but nerfs to the player are almost instant. So it's already been a couple of versions since their branches are insane. Maybe it's about time to nerf them. You had to deal with Lerny twice in a row. Lerny has already like always been a staple of Swamp. That's not really what I was talking about. I was talking about more like the insane monsters that have been added to the game throughout the last couple of versions. Around 0.25 was the version that like started the whole craziness for the Lure branches. Um, and yeah, it's only been getting worse and worse. I don't think this version added anything other than attacks of opportunity, but attacks of opportunity are just like such a massive nerf to a player anyway, that there doesn't need to be anything else added to the Lure branches to make them even deadlier. I always say that if I get to that point in the game, that's like the most likely spot that to kill me. And then if I get past that, I have a pretty good chance of winning the game. But bolts is also pretty bad sometimes, especially if you don't have resistances, which unfortunately I've had a fair amount of games this version where that is exactly the case. I I get 2 bolts without like, that's pretty good. I think I'm gonna wear these instead of that +2 robe of regen. The robe of regen is pretty good, but I would rather stick to what I have. All right, I don't think these are like optional or so. Yeah, I can just go into whatever I want. So normally I would choose Ashensari is the way to go if you already have a pretty good spell set, which I don't, so I'm gonna go Vehumet. I don't see Vehumet here, so I'm just gonna wait for Vehumet. Yep, just gonna wait for Vehumet. I'll come back later. Or rather, I won't come back there, but I want to find a goth. I want to find Vehumet. Mm, Phantom Mirror Lerny, one-shot Lerny. Yeah, Lerny is absolutely very weak against itself. You use Phantom Mirror, and it's a coin flip on whether your Lerny kills the real Lerny, or if it's the other way around. Mm, I really like having a ton of mana. I like Deep Elf a lot. I think Deep Elf might be in a pretty good spot this version, since like defenses are kinda absurd. Like Strength alone, and by extension Armor class, is not really gonna get the job done in this version. Um, and Dexterity and Evasion can always be like just a placebo and can disappoint you in very crazy ways. So the correct thing to do, like offense is the best defense in this game. It really is the way to go to just like nuke things from orbit while having 3 HP. And Deep Elf is pretty good at that. Yeah, Deep Elf is just like one of the greatest species for like playing like that, glass cannon. Mm. All right. That was not particularly difficult. And you want to know why this has not been so bad? It's a level full of whites. I don't know if it's like meme monster generation or so, but like I've already killed like 10 whites here, including one that has a pretty insane weapon for swords dexterity builds. But yeah, this seems to have mostly only whites. This iguana is the first monster that's not a white that I've seen in this level. Let's get some attacks of opportunity. Yep. Mm, man, Searing Ray is so good. Such a strong spell. Also, like, probably something to do with how good I'm perceiving it to be is the fact that I have a Staff of Conjuration. But I'm also a Deep Elf, right? So even without Staff of Conjuration, I would be dealing quite a bit of damage. Let me wield this for a bit just to see the power difference. Yeah, even without the Staff of Conjuration, I would still have 100% power, so it's not really impacting my character that much. It's just how good Deep Elves normally are. I love Deep Elves. I've always liked Deep Elves. Um, I find it a bit surprising that, like, for the longest time, the consensus was that Spriggan was good and Deep Elf was bad, where I've always found it to be the other way around. I like Spriggan quite a bit, or rather, I like Deep Elf quite a bit, and I dislike Spriggan quite a bit, and I've always disliked the Spriggan. From the very first moment that I played Spriggan, I've disliked it. Moth of Wrath. Well, that means that I probably shouldn't go in there. I'm very surprised at the large amount of. Oh, come on, is that gonna kill me? It's not gonna kill me. Okay, I think we're fine. Mm, Surprised at the large amount of whites that this level had. Greedy. I thought that maybe I could kill it with Mystic Blast or like with Searing Ray, but it didn't really get the job done. Fortunately, I survived and I was able to Mystic Blast to push it away from me. Mm, in that particular instance, I do think that Mystic Blast did a lot for me. Or like the Staff of Conjuration. That's what I meant. There we go. Looking pretty good. The starting kit for Isolate or for Conjurer is just so good. It's one of the very few backgrounds that still can theoretically just go for the entirety of the game with the starting book and nothing other than the starting book. And I think that's a pretty good thing because like that kind of consistency was like gutted away from other backgrounds, but Conjurer still has it. Mm, it's just that Mystic Blast is such a good spell, especially in this age of attacks of opportunity. Mystic Blast is great because it pushes monsters away, so you don't have to worry about them hitting you with their attacks of opportunity. This is a pretty rough situation. I probably shouldn't even have tried to fight it in the first place. I wonder if I can make it to the stars. The Arc Priest is unfortunately seriously hurt. Let's see if I can get it. Yeah, I was able to kill it, and now I can run to the stairs, knowing that it is extremely unlikely that I will get killed. I don't want to go down those stairs again, though. Two different ghost bolts. Did I see two different ghost bolts in the previous level? Hmm. I don't. This is not a ghost bolt, but yeah, two different transporter bolts is what I meant. Finally found the altar of Vehumet. Give me that. I need it. Vehumet welcomes me. Vehumet is a good god. Having 28 mana is great. Quite good indeed. Okay, we got Steam skills, but I would rather stick with the willpower over the armor class because it's just like a teeny tiny bit of extra armor class, and willpower feels more tangible to me than a bit of armor class. That's a pretty good sky weapon. I wonder if 6 intelligence does more for me than the Staff of Conjuration. It kinda, or rather, I don't know. Um, where's my Staff of Conjuration? So the Staff of Conjuration right now has a more obvious impact on my character, but eventually I would like to have that 6 intelligence from the weapon slot. Um, if I cannot use it, if I cannot use that weapon, it would be okay because it's like just a bit of an extra. But if I can use it, that would be fantastic. Being able to turn my weapon slot into a bit of extra spell power is definitely quite nice. Being able to use the weapon slot at all whenever you're a spellcaster is pretty good. And I'm not like talking about an enhancer staff. I'm talking about um, defenses and resistances, or just like straight up damage increase, which enhancer staves can sometimes not provide you with. Okay, pretty good. Conjurer is insane. That's absolutely correct. Conjurer is insane. Best background for mages in this version. Earth Elementalist and Ice Elementalist used to be that, but both of them got absolutely destroyed. So this version I've had a hard time playing this version because everything that I like was gutted. Earth Elementalist and Ice Elementalist, and melee has been bad for quite a while. And I like the launchers. I've always liked launchers, but the rework of launchers kind of makes me not like them as much as I used to, since now you cannot use armor whenever you're using a launcher. I don't think that's necessarily like a bad thing, but I do not like that change. I think it is reasonable. That change like differentiates ranged weapons from normal weapons. Um, it like consciously makes you engage in sacrifices for strengths, but I don't like making sacrifices for strengths. If I like doing that, I would play Ru a lot more than I do. Um, I think Ru is ridiculously strong, but also Ru can get you killed in ways that I don't like to be like potentially exposed to. That's why I don't play Ru. Mm, Pretty sweet that I was able to kill those guys without a lot of complications. I don't know if there's any other like very pressing things to train. I'm just gonna keep fighting on for a while. Let me see my spells. We have not really anything. that I really want to get. Maybe Prism, but I don't like Prism that much. I don't like the Targeter. It is a strong spell, but it is just like a spell that if I can go without having to use Prism, I'll go without having to use Prism, or without using Prism. I prefer not using Prism because of the Targeter. Mm, you could say that I am a bit spoiled by positional magic. Mm, I like positional magic. I like pressing a button and getting a result without having to go through a cumbersome targeter every time. Mm, at the beginning, people were a bit like unpleased by attacks of or like by positional magic, but I think that things have changed now. I wonder if I'm gonna kill that two-headed ogre before it kills me. Okay. Oh, I got shock. Do I care about shock? I would say no. That was a pretty rough situation. I probably should have retreated, but it's a good thing that I was able to survive. We got acid scales, but if I didn't put on steam scales, I'm not gonna put on acid scales that give slightly more protection for significantly more interference with my magic, especially only having 6 strength. Mm, that's annoying. Oh, that's really annoying. I hate vampires. Vampires are some of my least favorite enemies. I feel like in this version, vampires are super buff too, which is not a good thing in my opinion. Alright. We got to 1 pip of piety with Vehumet. Vehumet gave me shock. I don't think I care. I do have to kill this Soklov plant at some point, so might as well just do it. Does that hit the Oklov? It didn't hit the Oklov, and it halved my HP. Um, I guess I'll have to pick up and use these as the scales just for a bit. It doesn't really nuke my spells that much, so I can use it and be okay. Let's hope that I can kill this Oklov plant, because I don't really care about using these. I would rather be using something else. Oh, come on, I got a miscast. That's fine. Alright, let's go back to my roof. Not bad, not bad at all. Let's go down to the 11. I wish all crawl games were like this. It's been 26 minutes. I feel powerful, and I'm about to enter lure. Usually on like normal crawl games that are not like enjoyable, you are on D4 by 26 minutes because your D2, D3, and D4 have insane monsters that shouldn't generate on those levels. Um, yeah, like 1 or 2 encounters like that per game are okay, but when it's like so frequent, it gets to the point where like it's just like tiresome. Um, we got Psyche. This time Psyche didn't have distortion, just in case you needed any more evidence that this is a blessed run. That Psyche didn't have distortion, where the last every other time in the tournament that I found Psyche, she had distortion, but not this time. So yeah, obviously good lucky run. And because she didn't have distortion, it was much easier to melee her. Wow, Pyromancer. Pretty nasty monster, not the worst thing ever. I can just wield my Trident Giant Slayer for the far resistance, and then I can deal with the Pyromancer. I don't think that guy is gonna walk towards me. Oh, it blinked. Sweet, alright. I wish I had mana. Yeah, I don't wanna fight that Cyclops like that. These are the only stairs into that level, by the way. The other 2 stairs were secluded in a very small section of the level because that kind of thing can happen sometimes, and it happened this time. Alright, that went very well. Vampire mosquitoes are not as scary as bees, especially D4 bees. D4 bees are like kind of insane. Even a single one of them can kill you, and then if you get a whole band, yeah, that's painful. I was able to deal with the D4Bs by killing a couple of them and leaving them behind. Because as I mentioned when I was fighting them, it's only a matter of me getting unlucky rolls for them to be able to kill me at that point in the game. I have willpower, so Rolcha has only a 10% chance to banish me. She can hit me pretty hard with her fireball regardless, so I should wield the trident. Mm, there we go. Mm, if you have a character that can kill a Rolcha when you first find her, it's a good character. And considering that I just did that, I would consider that I have a good character. I wish more characters were like this one. Um, I feel sometimes frustrated due to the fact that I feel like I don't have the tools to win the game. Sometimes, in fact, that's happened quite frequently this tournament. I get characters going and then I just like cannot win them because I lack resistances or consumables or everything or damage. But this one, something makes me think that it's not gonna be the case with this character since it's already gotten such a strong start. I think I'm gonna drop these. Yeah, I think I'm gonna drop those because if I need the resistances that they provide, I have other things, and I also don't like juggling rings. Mm, so if I'm not carrying them, it's not like I have the option to juggle rings. Okay, I think that I'm going to stop training for these. I'm going to get like 15 spell casting. I don't particularly care about. Oh, cold resistance. That's nice. So now I have cold resistance and fire resistance, and 6 intelligence eventually. I guess I'm gonna drop these and these. Yeah. Okay. I have cold resistance and fire resistance and 6 intelligence on my weapon slot. Not bad. Not bad. Torpor Snail on Lure 1. I'm not a fan of Torpor Snails on Lure 1. I feel like it's a bit too early for them. Especially since they can come accompanying jack bands. Like if it was alone, it wouldn't be so nasty. But with jack bands, it takes a strong character in order to be able to deal with that. And strong characters are the exception rather than the norm. We got Freeze. Freeze is still good. Still one of the best spells in the game to begin the game with, but it unfortunately lost all the support that it had from its book because Frozen Ramparts got absolutely destroyed. Um, Frozen Ramparts got destroyed in the same way that Conjure Flame got destroyed a couple of versions ago. You know, when it used to be targetable and it used to be instant, Conjure Flame was like easily one of the strongest spells in the game. But instead of that, the changes to Conjure Flame just like completely nerfed it. It is cast in your position all the time, and it takes 2 turns for it to be usable. That's why I haven't used it since the change. Um, Sometimes I get it with Jin, and sometimes I accidentally cast it, but like in no single occasion have I felt like it's the correct thing to do to cast. Mm, that spell, Conjure Flame. Yeah, I don't. I just not only do I not think it's good, I also don't like it. In my opinion, it should just have been removed from the game instead of nerfing it to the point where no one uses it. Mm, I think the ideal point of like balance is where people use things and they don't particularly feel sad that they didn't get the really strong stuff. Like they should get excited over getting spells, no matter what the spells are. Ideally, all spells will be equally competitive, but I don't think that Crawl will ever be at that point. These are my scrolls of Identify, by the way. In case you were wondering what my scrolls of Identify were, it was that 9 stack. It only took me until Layer 2 to identify. Mm, So I'm reading Identify on the potions exclusively because I already identified blinking, so I can read Identify. I can read Identify the rest of the scrolls. I can drop that. That can go into the gutter. This is Scroll of Enchant Weapon. We're not really gonna be tabbing with this character. We already have a really, really strong weapon to tab with, but we're not gonna use it. Oh, that's yeah. Like in case you need it, this is obviously a blessed seed. This is the kind of seed that you like win super easily. Look at that cloak. Like I have had characters that go through the entirety of the game without finding an item as good as that cloak. Um, and then like this character D1 staff of conjuration. It did take me a while to find Vehumet, but I didn't really get into ridiculous early game situations like 90% of the characters in 0.29. So like it was okay that I didn't find Vehumet early, and now I have this, which I obviously I'm gonna grab immediately. Um, Yep, that's gonna like remain staples to me for the rest of the game. It's better than the Scarf of Resistance. It's way better than the Scarf of Resistance. It's like one of the best cloaks that I found this year. Yeah, it's just insanely good. Mm, so yeah, at this point, I feel like I would be disappointed with myself if I managed to kill this character. So hopefully it won't happen. Better be careful with that freezing rate. I can always push it away, but it becomes a significantly more complicated endeavor if it was to slow me. The best cloak you've ever seen. I think I've seen better cloaks, but yeah, it's probably like a top three cloaks that I've ever gotten. Oh, come on. That's my bath, too. I should have gone upstairs instead of being greedy and trying to kill these. Uh, Fortunately, the Quicksilver Bolt gets the job done, but like I was out of mana there. It could have been nasty. Hmm. I hope that I find Mana Regen. Mana Regen is the amulet to go for when you are playing spellcasters like this one. Yeah, it's nice that the game is being nice to me. I am happy about that because, yeah, in this tournament, it's not been nice to me. It's actually been so mean to me that it's getting to the point where, like, this is one of the worst tournaments that I've had since I started streaming. I have very low amounts of wins, very low amounts of banners. Like, it's funnily enough the first tournament since I started streaming where I am part of the team, and it's also the worst tournament that I've had since I started streaming. So, yeah, sorry for that, teammates. Not my intention to troll the team away, but yeah, like this version is not a good version for me to play. Mm, that's why after the tournament I'm gonna be like playing significantly less crawl. Gonna play crawl only when there's like impactful changes because otherwise I feel like I just get burned out on the game. Um, yeah, doesn't help that much too that um I feel like if you think about it logically, every crawl run is winnable, or like the vast majority of them, almost the entirety of crawl runs are winnable, right? Like that is exemplified by the fact that there's people like Acrobat with ridiculously long streaks in the current version of the game. So by extension, it is winnable. Every run is winnable, or almost all of the runs are winnable. But on the other hand, the existence of that small amount of runs that are not winnable lead you to believe that runs that are winnable are not winnable. So yeah, that I don't think is good. Or even if it like it may be good for the game, I don't know, but it's not good for me. That I can tell you for sure. I don't like having the mental crutch of like, oh yeah, it must have been unwinnable. I wanna know 100% for sure that I won or lost because of my decisions, which is something that Crawl not only can't provide, but also I don't think it will ever provide. I don't think that the fact that people can feel like I feel is like a design issue that developers care about. I don't think they consider it to be an issue at all. So that's why I know for sure that it won't be changing anytime soon. Um, I wish that Crawl just like had significantly less randomness. Mm, yeah, RNG makes big swings at inappropriate moments. Sometimes in your favor and sometimes against you, but I dislike both of those. I dislike surviving because I got lucky, and I dislike dying because I got unlucky. Just feel like luck should be as minimal of a factor as possible in crawl. Mm, Anyway, we got Stone Arrow, and Stone Arrow is like it is probably the greatest spell that any background starts with. No, that's not true. Mystic Blast is the greatest spell that any background starts with. Stone Arrow is probably like the second best. It costs one more mana than Mystic Blast or than Searing Ray, but it just deals so much more damage against single targets, of course. And like I have enough mana to cast 11 stone arrows before I have to recharge. So yeah, I got it from Vehumet and I immediately went for it. Mm, because it's the kind of spell that I like just run around and like have a reliable tool to kill like weak mobs. If you find a band of monsters, of course you need to get creative and use other spells. But if you find like a single isolated monster, Stone Arrow is gonna get the job done. Find an Hydra, Stone Arrow. Find I don't know, Water Moccasin, Stone Arrow. Black Mamba, Stone Arrow. Well, maybe for Black Mamba, Mystic Blast would be better since Mystic Blast ignores evasion. Um, I'm gonna get evocations, not throwing. I'm gonna get evocations. We are gonna get 12 evocations is what we're gonna go for. Evocations are a mage's friend. They kind of overlap with the mage's like ideal options, which are just like casting spells. But there's gonna be situations where you can't cast the spells for one reason or another, and that's where you want to use evocables. Usually, your spells are not like a good enough fit for the situation, or you just are out of mana, and that's where evocables can like save the day, even if you're a mage. But otherwise, like you're probably not gonna be using a lot of evocables. We just got an Amulet of Mana Regen with upside, which is pretty crazy good. The rampaging is gonna be interesting. I don't like rampaging that much on spellcasters because it can make you easily misposition. But later in the game, once I have things like Irradiate or um, maybe even Polar Vortex, you could use Rampaging to wander into the middle of the enemies and then Irradiate or Polar Vortex them, given that you have good enough defenses and resistances, of course, otherwise you would just explode. I've had Deep Elves that do that in the past, and it is pretty good. Mm, hmm, hmm. Like the flavor text of that ghost. Mm, been getting a lot of ghost bolts too. I feel rather unsafe when it comes to dealing with them, so I'm not like gonna open them yet. But eventually I will. I hope that my mana is enough to deal with these guys. Regardless, I have mana regen, so it shouldn't really be that much of an issue um, to just Mystic Blast these guys until they die. It's funny, like thinking about how I'm casting Mystic Blast, but like having them disperse so much is actually kind of painful. Um, that was beautiful. That was enabled by Mystic Blast, Mana Regen, and Vehumet. If I didn't have the combination of all three of those things, that band of elephants would have been significantly more difficult to take on at the same time. But I had the tools to get the job done, and so I got the job done. I like that. That makes me feel good whenever I'm playing this game. It should be a more common occurrence. What I just had happen against those elephants. We found Condenser Bane, which is gonna be a pretty good addition to my character. Condenser Bane fulfills a niche that I still don't have a spell for, which is just like hitting everything on the screen at the same time. So yep. Oh, I got put to sleep. Only took 21 damage, so it's fine. There we go, easy peasy. This is a strong character. Very, very strong character. Vehumet agrees. And like the turn count and the playtime. Well, the turn count not so much since I've been resting a lot. because as spellcaster. But the playtime agrees with me. It's been less than an hour and I'm almost done with Lair. There's characters where an hour and a half has passed and I'm only entering Lair. So yeah, I like characters like this one. Mm, okay, that got kind of spooky. I did take quite a bit of damage. Vehumet offered Sticky Flame. I have not really gotten Sticky Flame since attacks of opportunity became a thing, but I'm gonna give it a try because I have Mystic Blast. So by like just like logic, it should work very well. Mystic Blast um, plus a Sticky Flame. Also, Sticky Flame doesn't check evasion, which is a thing that I appreciate from spells. I like this that spells don't check evasion sometimes. Mm. Wow, that Dire Elephant got absolutely dunked on. Must have been like a very weak Dire Elephant. An hour and a half on Cat equals D6. Best encounter is Natasha, who's the best cat of them all. Yeah, an hour and a half on Cat equals D6. That's painful. It is painful, but it is true as well. Um, I wish that it was not the case. I really do. Mm. Okay, we got an upgrade to my Ring of Evasion with a Ring of 5 Evasion instead of a Ring of 4 Evasion. Not bad, not bad at all. At some point I am going to train dodging for sure. I'm gonna get it to like 15 or so, but not yet. Luckily enough, I have a pretty good spell set for like this early stage of the game. I have my starting book, Sticky Flame, and Stone Arrow, which all of them fulfill like different roles. Um, and like they're all strong enough for me not to feel like I need an upgrade immediately. Mm, this game I didn't get my favorite like early game spell kit, which is the Poison Magic kit, but it is still perfectly playable like this. I need that guy to get closer, which it did, into my range of Stone Arrow, and then it just exploded. Let's kill some orcs and see what the shops have for me. Hmm. One of these orcs has an arbalest. Fortunately, the one that did have the arbalest proceeded to die from a single Mystic Blast. Pretty good. Rampaging is doing funny things. I need to remember not to rampage towards enemies whenever possible. That's the only like downside of this Amulet of Mana Regen. It is good enough that I will most likely never take it off because it's Mana Regen with upside. Unless I get another Amulet of Mana Regen with upside, this is like it for my character. But the rampaging is annoying. If it gets too annoying, I might have to take it off for like a normal Amulet of Mana Regen that I already have access to, by the way. This would be a good time to have Ignite Poison. Ignore the summon, focus on the summoner. Crawl 101. And there we go. Looking pretty good so far. I wonder if with this character I can get to Speed Demon 3. Speed Demon 3 is the one that you get that banner for winning the game in under 3 hours. I'm not a speedrunner, nor I will ever be a speedrunner, because I don't think that being a speedrunner particularly increases your enjoyment of the game. In fact, I think it's the other way around. Like, being a speedrunner makes you dislike the game. For reasons not unlike the reasons that I've like experienced myself in this development version. So it's kind of funny. Maybe if I'm already on my way to not liking the game, I could try speedrunning it for a bit. But I'm not gonna do that anyway. It's just like a funny thing that I just thought about. But yeah, anyway, as I was saying regarding speedrunning, I think that learning to speedrun a game is learning to dislike the game for all like its little quirks and nuances and like cool things that enamored you when you were just like starting to learn the game. I obviously don't want to see 13 orc priests in my line of sight. This would be an excellent moment to have immolation, but I don't really know about it. So before I get killed by my own immolation, I should probably walk in the opposite direction. Mm, it would be good if I had a spell to hit monsters from afar, but I don't have such a thing. I'm amazed that the Orc Knight died to normal Orc band, like Orc Warrior, Orc Priest. Mm. So did you know that monsters leveling up used to be a thing that existed in the game but no longer exists? I think that's a bit lame. I like that. I don't need to forget about any spells. This is pretty bad because now I cannot run away. I don't have... Oh, I do have poison resistance. Okay, yeah, I forgot that this is an insanely ridiculous character and I have poison resistance. I definitely don't like the smoke demons. Smoke demons are pretty bad. In the game they're 4s, but I made them into 3s for my own RC file because I think that they're insane. I think they're really like some of the strongest demons that an orc high priest can summon. That's why they deserve to be 3s instead of 4s. There's monsters that I disrespect, like executioners. I have executioners as 4s, where they're 1s because they're executioners, right? But I just like don't think of them as that powerful, especially for the point in the game that they generate. Like, what kind of character is gonna get to that point in the game being vulnerable to monsters that like melee you, and that's all they do. No matter how fast they are, no matter how impossible it is to run away from them, at the end of the day they still melee you, and that's it. At the point in the game where they start to appear consistently, you have greater things to worry about, such as getting tormented or shot by damnation. This would be a good time to have butterflies or fogu. I don't have any. Charming? 52%? It works. I don't like using things with a 50% chance to succeed. Really don't. But sometimes you just have to do it. Okay. My Orc Knight is destroying the enemy Orc Knight. There we go. That went very well. I will now get dodging. I could also get my 12 evocations. Okay. Oh, I was gonna kill the Orc Knight, taking advantage of the fact that it was weakened. But I might as well squeeze it for all the value that it's worth. Pretty good. I don't have scrolls of poison anymore. Right now, one of them would be pretty good to poison these guys. That's not good. I don't like the fact that all these Orc Knights have Arbalists. But this one is almost dead at least, so I can just like finish it off very quickly. Gonna walk away from there because fighting there any further is a rather dangerous thing to do. Get an attack of opportunity, deals less damage than I was expecting, which is pretty welcome. And let's just continue out exploring. We should be fine for finishing this. If I didn't die against the 13 orc priests, we're okay. Man, imagine it, like in that situation, I could have gotten smitten like 6 or 7 times, and then I would have died. I'm glad that such a thing didn't come to happen, because that would have been greatly annoying. I got Sticky Flame and I even trained for it, but I haven't done the technique yet. I just feel a bit uneasy about doing it because it takes one turn of the monster taking a swing at me, which is not something that I feel like I can stomach. It is funny because like I have pretty decent amounts of HP and defenses, right? Like 14, 17, 92 HP. There's definitely been characters in recent times that have had significantly more squalid defenses than that, but I feel like unconfident about it. Anyway, I'm gonna be training evasion soon, and evasion will give me the confidence that I need to be able to do the sticky flame technique. Yeah, I saw 2 high priests, and since they were so far away, I think that the correct thing to do is to just run out of there, run towards the stairs. These stairs would lead me into a part of the level that I have not cleared, so I'm not gonna go up them. Instead of that, I'm gonna wait around the corner. I think it's time for me to check this part of the level, just to like make sure that it's safe. Because apparently those stairs are the closest ones that I have to the vault. Hmm. All right. This is one of the bolts that I like the least in Orc because I feel like it's just like ridiculously large amounts of monster spam, which is also something that Crawl tends to do a lot in some parts of it that I don't like and that I wish it didn't do. But this time we were able to do it without that much complication. Why do I insist on trying to buy scrolls of identify when I don't need them? Hmm. Are these two shops the same? Well, they're not the same, but they're very similar. Anyway, let's buy these and let's buy, yeah, let's buy only that. Okay. We got three consumable shops. I guess this one is not quite a consumable shop, but two scroll shops is definitely not bad at all. It's just that we don't really like get to take advantage of consumable shops at this point. Later, what is this? A ruined hat. My current hat is a +1 helmet. Do I care enough to open that? The answer is no. I'll come back when I have a ridiculous spell like Firestorm. Oh, also I've been thinking about Spellforce Servitor. I think I'm gonna grab it, since like after all I do have a ton of spell slots. Um, and no other spells that I really like want to grab. I would have grabbed Frozen Ramparts before it got gutted in this version because I feel like it used to apport something really good, which was like damage over time that actually dealt damage. But since it checks armor class now, it's worthless against the vast majority of monsters in the game at the point where you actually want to be casting it. Later on, monsters don't have that much armor class, like giants and stuff don't really have as much armor class as an early monster wearing scale mail or so. But like obviously at that point, dealing like even the maximum amount of damage that you could theoretically do with it, which is I think it's around a 1 dice of 13 or so. It's not that much damage, but like doing that amount of damage every turn doesn't really like hold up to the threats that the late game poses. Anyway, let's go back to the dungeon. Hopefully next version. Um, Frozen Ramparts gets buffed, but it's not gonna happen. It's gonna take a couple of versions, just as Fire Magic got nerfed quite hard with the removal of Conjure Flame, and only in 0.28 did it get Scorch to replace it or to like compensate somewhat. And in this version, Fire Magic also got buffed quite a bit. Flame Wave and Sticky Flame deal more damage now. Okay. I knew that there was a good reason not to go here, because I got shafted. +9 longsword is quite a weapon. We're at a point in the game where like I could see that being a significant upgrade for some characters. Not for my character, of course. If I really wanted to use that kind of thing, I would be using a greatsword that I have, like a +6 greatsword. I could even like fully enchant it if I really wanted to. These gloves are good. Yeah, these are some pretty good gloves. First gloves in the game, but like, yeah, this is what I'm trying to say. Sometimes the game really gives you, like, this is the winner seed. If you get this kind of seed, you're probably gonna win the game. It is that good. Um, but I wish that, like, instead of getting all of it in one seed, it was like spread among multiple seeds. Instead of that, it feels like there's a significant amount of games where you just like don't get anything, and then there's a rare game like this one where you get all the things and then you win the game, and then you feel like you won the game only because you got lucky instead of because you were actually good. And I don't like that feeling. But it's just how it is. I already talked about that before. Alrighty, these guys are not really dangerous at all. I don't like the Center Warrior, however. Still missing a spell to deal damage to monsters like that. We have Irradiate already, which by the way got nerfed this version. Yeah, this version has many. Like, this version was a version of nerfing very good spells, since after all, melee is already nerfed to the point where it feels really, really bad to be an average character without great aptitudes as a melee character. The same was done to mages this version, I feel. Yeah, like being a mage in this version can feel pretty bad sometimes, depending on what spells you have. Definitely the best backgrounds got it. Mm, okay, I think this might be a bolt entrance to bolts. Yeah, okay. I see a lot of center warriors and I don't like them, so I'm just gonna go upstairs because after all I did get shafted 2 floors. So theoretically it shouldn't be there. But getting shafted post-Lair and Orc is like significantly less dangerous than getting shafted pre-Lair and Orc. Oh, this is the time to use a Sticky Flame. Yeah. This is the kind of enemy that I got Sticky Flame for. Mystic Blast. Oh, the Sticky Flame didn't last for like any amount of time. It lasted like seconds. That's pretty lame. The Boulder Beetle missed me. I think it missed me twice already. I consider that to be extremely lucky. Gargoyle. Normally gargoyles are terrible, terrifying, but it's very easy to kill a gargoyle with what I currently have with Stone Arrow. By the way, Frozen Ramparts used to also be a killer of gargoyles because it used to ignore armor class. But now that it doesn't ignore armor class, it's just garbage against gargoyles. It's crazy how like gargoyles are something that's very difficult to answer for some like backgrounds. And one of its answers got removed from the game altogether. It's pretty sad in my opinion. We got Ignite Poison. We got a bunch of like really strong spells from these books, I think. Yeah, we got Iron Shot. I already have Servitor, right? So I could just get Iron Shot as well and train for that for the mid game, which we're about to go into. Instead of training dodging, I need to train summonings and conjurations and earth magic. Mm, Conjurations to 15, earth magic to 12 or so, 13. 13 is fine. I can get it to 12. Doesn't really matter that much. And I'm gonna need 15 summonings for Servitor. But yeah, Book of Power. Um, let's see the rest of these. I need Blink. Yeah, that's like an instant buy. Um, Strike, Lightning Spark, Lightning Bolt, and nothing else for my character. Okay, we got some significant upgrades from going there. I already have the training for Blink, so I don't have to worry about it. That book is really good. Does it have Blink, Lesser Beckoning, and Manifold Assault? That's like a really, really strong book. There should be a background that starts with those 3 spells, and also like Blade Hands. It would be a really strong background. Um, in my opinion, it should be what Transmuter should be, just like merge Warper on Transmuter and make one good background instead of having 2 garbage backgrounds. Um, but I don't think that will ever happen. I mentioned it to a developer and they don't think it's an issue. So it is not an issue apparently. Hmm. Anyway, I'm very happy to have found that. What I'm not happy about is Azrael. Yeah, Azrael has Damnation, and that can kill me quickly. Just wield my fire resistance for dealing with these guys. Step around the corner so we can hit Azrael. Mm, Waiting for Azrael to go around the corner, but I don't think he's gonna do it. Oh wow! The moment that I decided he's not gonna do it is the moment that he walks around the corner. That's insane. Do you have immunity to Damnation? You do. Okay, so that means that you will Damnation if I am next to you, which is not a good thing for me. Fortunately, Mystic Blast spam got the job done. Yeah, looking pretty good. Iron Shot is already at 2%. Vehumet spell enhancement at play, by the way, in case you were wondering why I was having such ease casting things in general. It's not only the fact that I have like insane gear and I am a deep elf, it is also Vehumet. Hmm. Hmm. Ignite Poison. Should I learn Ignite Poison for synergy with Scrolls of Poison? Maybe. Like, it's not as much of an investment as you would think. Like, the spell slots really don't matter, and yeah, like, I don't think I will get any more spells to support it. I don't think I'll get Noxious Bog. Mm, because I don't really want to go for transmutation and some poison, but like I can cast it off the skill that I have right now in Fire Magic. Mm, Ignite Poison is at 1% chance to miscast. Of course, it won't have that much power, but yeah, 43%. Getting carried by my spell casting and intelligence. Mm, I'm glad that Rupert didn't wake up in that D13. Would have been annoying if I had to deal with Rupert. I think this. I think I got this bolt the other day with the treasure trove, and I had the fire. I had a fire dragon here. If I got a fire dragon today, I feel like it would be bad. I don't want to see a fire dragon because this time I don't have a treasure trove that asks me for fire scales. Do I have immolation? Because immolation would be good right now. I think I maybe do. I don't. Okay, it was a scroll foggle. Ran out of mana, unfortunately. Vehumet, please give me back some mana. Okay, it did work. Surprising. Cast a spell that cost 4 mana and I got 7 mana. Pretty good. Intelligence, of course. We don't particularly care about dexterity or strength with this character. Yeah, let's go. Vehumet for the win. Unfortunately, ran out of mana. Now I have to run for my life before the Cyclops ruins my day. Yeah. I feel like there's been changes in the in the last couple of versions of the game that like really affect everything. Even something as giving monsters unlimited ammunition is like tangible at this point in the game. Mm, yeah, that was a big buff to Stone Giants. And I'm glad that it was caught that also made it so that monsters just like threw pretty much every time because their behavior before was to throw abnormally often. Like they threw so frequently because it was the strongest thing that they could do, but they were able to do it in like a limited fashion. So they just like went in strong, and after that they were like slightly weaker. But developers didn't like that. That like theoretically, the optimal thing to do was to just wait for the monster to not be as strong and then fight it. So now they're just like more powerful forever. That you can notice with like centers, you notice with Cyclopes, of course, and of course Stone Giants as well. Stone Giants were like the most positively affected out of all the monsters that got unlimited ammo. Merfolk Javeliniers were also pretty insane. Um, the version where that like change was enacted, like the day that change was enacted, I was in Shoals, and I got Polyphemus, and Polyphemus was just throwing rocks at me every turn. It is scary when the monster does the optimal move every turn. Because the one advantage that the player has over the monster is that the player does do the optimal move every turn, and the monsters don't. So you get to outplay the monsters because the monsters like sometimes do things that they shouldn't do in order to win. Like for example, this Manticore should just throw their Manticore things at me every time. Um, the Manticore things. But it doesn't. So you as a player take advantage and like play accordingly, knowing that the monster is not gonna do the optimal thing every time. That's once again randomness. Randomness is just like such a core part of crawl that it is impossible to remove. Um, it is so ingrained into the game as it is. Fire Dragon. Okay, hold on. I did say that I didn't want to see a Fire Dragon. I should probably run for my life. Mm, Fortunately enough, as we have already established before, these mighty ancient monsters, behemoths, are very meek when confronted with the overwhelming power of the door. They cannot open doors, so you can just close the door in front of them, and that's it for the dragon. The ice dragon could have been scary. Oh, did I? On I think that I wielded the trident and then I unwielded it. But anyway, I'm fortunate to have cold resistance without having to equip anything. Maybe I should drop this. I don't think I'll need 2 pips of cold resistance. Same goes for this. Yeah. Those things I was carrying so I could have access to cold resistance if I needed it. But I don't need it anymore. My resistances are looking okay. They're not looking that great, but they're looking pretty okay. Spellforce Servitor at 9%, Iron Shot at 1%. That's amazing. That is easily thanks to Vehumet. Like without Vehumet, I wouldn't be at such a good spot. But yeah, I feel really strong for going into the mid game. And of course, being a spellcaster, having the options of Spider and Swamp, I think Swamp is the way to go. Spider is painful for a spellcaster. If I had gotten Snake, Snake would have been where I would go. But I didn't get that, so whatever. Okay, Servitor is casting 3 dice of 29 Iron Shot. Not bad. Servitor is capable of killing almost everything here, if not just straight up everything. Isul is kind of spooky. And yeah, we're starting to like mid-game things, just like being thrown against a bunch of monsters that you don't really have any business fighting multiples of at the same time, such as those Spriggan Riders. Isul also fits that criteria. This is the kind of thing that I would rather fight at full HP in a 1 versus 1, not at half HP after I've already fought so many things. At least I have the resistance, and my Servitor does get the job done. It's such a strong spell to have, Spellforce Servitor. Very glad to have poison resistance. Doing this without poison resistance is very, very painful. If there's one branch in the game where you want poison resistance, it's this one. It's not Spider, it's not Snake, it's this one, because Spider and Snake don't have monsters that fill such a large amount of your line of sight with clouds of poison. Um, yeah, the poison damage in Spider and Snake is very easily preventable or negligible enough that even if you do get hit by it, it's not like the end of the world. But Swamp Poison does kill you. It is the end of the world. So funny enough that Swamp is more poisony than the poisony branches. Pretty funny thing how that works. I would use a Sticky Flame, but it was standing on water. Sticky Flame doesn't work on water. Finally, we got 6 pips of Piety under Vehumet. Not bad. And now we're in 11 minutes. We've been blazing through this. I thought that Orc had taken me significantly longer. Yeah, that's not an issue. I like the idea of pushing away the Ghost Craft. But yeah, this is the kind of situation where I should teleport. Because there's just too many monsters. Servitor. I should teleport again. Landed in a bad spot and at half HP. Getting carried by my evasion. Yeah, getting lucky, dodging everything. So yeah, I think that when if people ever ask me again how to win at crawl, the first thing that I'm gonna say is just get lucky, have monsters not do the best thing that they can do every time, find good stuff, just get lucky. If you get lucky, you can win at crawl. Yeah, fighting all of these guys in a 1 versus 1 is just like significantly more palatable. They didn't really pose as much of a threat, but together they're very, very strong. I would say that any 2 monsters here is a bit more powerful than I am. Like I can kill them, but they also have like a very reasonable chance of killing me. I got LRD. LRD is something that I like for bolts because bolts has LRD monsters or monsters that you can easily LRD. Obviously, it doesn't do anything in swamp, but I'm just like thinking ahead. You know how it is with Vehumet. The Vehumet really exploits that fear of missing out on you, like get it now or potentially lose it forever, kind of thing. Then Strider Witch, it has a 15% chance to paralyze me and 24% chance to agony me, and that is through my willpower. Kind of rough. Then Strider Witches are definitely very strong enemies. I got 8 charges of Ice Blast out of killing it, which is pretty nice. Oh wow, I got hit for 54. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, that's pretty bad. It's also kinda surprising. Yeah, getting hit for 54. Mm, but it's fine. There's very few monsters that can actually like explode me like that here. I think that will-o-wisps are one of them, and obviously the high-level plants. Definitely the high-level plants are some of them. Shambling mangroves and thorn hunters are easily the scariest thing that the game has to offer in this part of the game. Mm, so you generally don't want to fight them. Fenstrider witches could also theoretically explode me, but in order for them to do that, they need to get me with the paralysis. And I don't know if it really counts as me exploding if I have to get paralyzed first. When I say explode, I am thinking more along the lines of you were at full HP and now you are about to die by one single action from one single monster. Mm, I don't think paralysis really counts as that since it's like multiple actions. Mm. I'm gonna read magic mapping. I don't want to miss the ice cave. I feel powerful enough to be able to do it without really a lot of complications. Yeah, the spell for Servitor is great. It's a really high value spell. Like you get a lot of mana value for your spell. Well, you get a lot of value for your mana, is what I'm trying to say. A single cast of Iron Shot costs you 6 mana. Of course, your Iron Shot is better than the Servitor's Iron Shot. Mine deals 9 dice of 10. This deals 3 dice of 29. So, on a maximum roll, the Servitor's Iron Shot deals almost as much damage as mine. But mine will deal more damage on average because it's more die rolls. I'm not so susceptible to getting a bad roll as the Servitor is. But on the other hand, the Servitor also doesn't have any mana. I can just like leave it there and it will like spam it to oblivion. Where if I was to try that myself, it wouldn't really work. I would run out of mana very, very quickly. So that's why Servitor is such a good spell. It casts one of the best spells that you have, and it casts it repeatedly. Oh. Having a summon does make using Mystic Blast kind of awkward, but like it's very obvious that it is very, very strong by what just happened. There was an Hydra and I was low on mana and I was nervous about the Hydra, but the Servitor just like got the job done like it was nothing. It's so good. I wonder if I should be casting Iron Shot myself. I have Irradiate, but I think that Irradiate's nerf alongside the fact that I am like Deep Elf, and therefore I don't really have that much HP or defenses, make it so that I don't really want to be using Irradiate on this character. It's no longer like the optimal thing to go for on every character. It's not necessarily a bad thing. You know, I dropped those items that gave me cold resistance, and I kinda wish I hadn't, because I could afford to have a bit of extra cold resistance for this place. Definitely better than the poison resistance that I'm currently using. I am going to drop the Amulet of Fate. Fate is bad on Vehumet at this point. Early on it's good because you get like spells faster, and not only do you get spells faster, but you also get You also get the abilities that Vehumet offers you faster, which are both pretty good things. Um, but at this point that I already have all of those things, Fate doesn't do anything. I think it may increase the chance of you getting mana back, or at least it would make sense if it did, but I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, I think that I'm going to leave it at that for Earth Magic. Why no shield? Because I haven't really found a buckler. I think. Oh, I do have a buckler, and a pretty good one at that. I should definitely use that. Yeah, you make a pretty good point. Why no shield? Because I hadn't really noticed that I had that buckler. I did know about. I have a kite shield of like cold resistance or so, like positive energy. Um, yeah, that one. I did know about that one, but I hadn't noticed the buckler. Mm, yeah, going from no shield to kite shield is kind of complicated. But going from no shield to buckler is pretty much free. LRD will get the job done when it comes to that statue. I really like having the perfect tool for the job. Makes me feel pretty nice. There we go. Caustic Strike Simulacrum. Simulacra can also be affected by LRD. You can directly LRD them because they're brittle, so it's a pretty good thing to have for the purposes of dealing with Caustic Strike Simulacra. This guy could be scary because of the lightning bolts, but it's not really that scary thanks to my Spellforce Servitor. Yeah, it's so strong. The Servitor is great, such a fantastic ally to have. Okay, I think that's it. Globes of Dexterity. I already have better Globes of Dexterity. They give me 5 instead of the 3 that these give. Am I going to sacrifice 1 point of armor class for the evasion that this offers? I think so. I think I'm gonna do that. This is not that good of an amulet. It's not terrible, but it's not good either. I will leave it alone. Scimitar of Freezing. And that's pretty much it. Alright, a shortish ice cave with a lot of very nasty, dangerous monsters. It is about the same size as a NetHack level. Let's leave that alone then and get out of here. Drop the poison darts. Drop the robe of resistance. I only wanted to use it there for the ice cave. I want to go back to my willpower. And yeah, let's go find that buckler. I can easily deal with this Hydra, I think. I would like to believe that I can easily deal with it. But you never know for real. Sometimes the Hydra dodges 17 times in a row and then you die. And yeah, it does very slightly impact my Spellforce Servitor. It doesn't really matter. Let's continue. Let's go get that first rune. After that, we're gonna go do bolts, and because the character has like defenses and resistances, I should be able to do well. There's one monster in bolts that makes me afraid, and that is the Thunderhook. If I happen to be in a situation where I take a lot of damage all of a sudden in bolts, it's going to be because of a Thunderhook. Other than that, I should be okay. Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, I am trying to position myself in such a way that I don't hit this Servitor with my Mystic Blast. There we go. Pretty good. Pretty good indeed. The Shambling Mangrove absolutely woke up after that. Yep, there it is. Immediately constricts me upon entering line of sight. That is delightful. Anyway, since it's already, well, since I already got rid of it, it is okay for me to do the rest of this level. The main reason why I didn't want to be here in the first place was because of the Shambling Mangrove and Hydra combo. That's actually a pretty bad combo. It removes my evasion and the Hydra just hits me really, really hard. But since I was able to take on them separately, it was significantly easier. Not to mention that I also got a little bit of help for myself in the form of the servitor. Young Poisoner's Handbook. I could get Poisonous Vapors. Poisonous Vapors is better than Stun Arrow in my opinion. If you have access to if you have access to Ignite Poison is what I'm trying to say. There we go. I was a bit afraid of Mara copying copying me. Mm, anyway, we are going to go to the final level. Mm, we're doing really, really well. 1 hour and 24 minutes. By this, like, there's some characters that are entering Lair by this point. I want you to keep that in mind. Some characters are entering Lair by the 1 hour and 24-minute mark, but this one is about to get its first rune without a lot of complications. Yeah, this feels good. Mm, I think the absence of characters like this in this version of the game makes me feel like the game is like much longer than it has been in previous versions, which is funny because in previous versions the game was longer. Like there were more levels and stuff, but this version just like increases the amount of ridiculous situations that you're thrown into that that it has the opposite effect like shaving off duration from the game, just like reduces the amount of experience that you have access to and makes things more difficult, making the game take longer. Yeah, kind of a thing that I just thought about, but it does make quite a lot of sense if you think about it. mm, So I don't want to have poisonous vapors for here. I'll probably get it eventually since it's like really really good with ignite poison. Poisonous vapors and ignite poison is just power combination. Mm, but in this place there's a vast amount of monsters that are highly resistant to poison, so you cannot really poison them with poisonous vapors. And by extension you cannot use ignite poison on them. I think that this bolt can have the Lerna and Hydra, but it's not a guarantee. Just for funsies. A little bit of a cast of Ignite Poison. I would be casting it a lot more if I was not currently standing on clouds of poison. Hmm. There it is, the Lerna and Hydra. Um, I could use a little bit of mana here. I think I have, yeah, 4 potions of mana. Do I want to use them right now? The answer is no. I don't really want to use them right now. On the other hand, I also don't want to fight these guys right now. I think I can just run away from them. Probably cast another Servitor since I don't have that much mana. I wish I could use Mystic Blast, but I can't because the Servitor. Alright, pretty good. Do take care to position yourself in such a way that you cannot get hit by an iron shot from your servitor missing. Of course, for my character, getting hit by 3 dice of 29 would hurt. Um, let's see. Is it still? Yeah, it's now 3 dice of 30, so I still don't want to get hit by that. Gonna turn off conjurations for now. Probably should turn on shields at some point, at least to like 8 or so. Okay, looking pretty good. I think that I didn't kill the Lerna and Hydra, but it's fine. I can just like go in full resources and 1 versus 1 the Lernayan Hydra. It's like 2v1 actually. It's not 1v1 since I have my Servitor. Servitor is like a really, really strong spell. If you have a character like this, I recommend getting Servitor quite heavily since it's really strong. And there we go. A couple of iron shots get the job done. My Servitor actually dealt more damage when iron shot that I did. Mm, Man, Profane Servitor is such a strong spell. Can't believe me, it took so long to discover the spell. Like it took me so long to discover it. Mm, but now that I have a whole new world open up for me, it's a spell that certainly hasn't disappointed ever since I first got it. Okay, we want to use LRD here. I got LRD for a reason. Did that destroy the... Oh, it did! I one-shot the Crystal Guardian with LRD. Shouts to LRD. Such a strong spell. Yeah, it's fine. Oh, come on. Why are you walking towards me? Stop walking towards me! The Servitor is walking towards me, which is making things more annoying than they need to be. Mm. Funny thing that we first encountered a construct band as like that we encountered a construct band as my first encounter in bolts, because I did get LRD for the sole purpose of being able to deal with construct bands. You didn't know until Particle Face pointed out, but you didn't. You do know I hate allies. Yeah. But this is not quite an ally. Well, I guess it is, but it does one thing, and it does a pretty good thing at a range. You can kind of control what it does, and it does something really strong. Like, it can do one thing, and that one thing that it does is very powerful. So, it's just like a good ally. It's not gonna waste time meleeing or anything, or walking towards the monsters. It's just gonna sit there and cast LRD, or like Iron Shot until everything dies or it disappears. Mm, so yeah, it's such a good spell. Really, really good. It doesn't have the issue that I have with other summons, which is that they are suicidal or like very low impact or too high randomness. This one doesn't have those issues. It still has some degree of randomness because it doesn't cast every turn. It also casts spells extremely slowly, so it's not gonna spam Iron Shot every turn. It has to wait a couple of turns sometimes to cast. Um, but it's still pretty good regardless. I think we have gotten to the point where I could reasonably start to use Poisonous Vapors instead of Stun Arrow. Run out of mana. That's what happens when you use too many single target spells in a row versus non-single targets monsters. Okay, that's fine. Do I just sit here and wait for them to get cooked? I think that I'm gonna try that. It doesn't go very well. Yactor Captain makes it over. Yeah, it went well enough. Yeah, Yactor Captains and Center Warriors at the same time. Like, I look at how much of bolts I have explored. Is it unreasonable to like be able to explore a bit and then find monsters like the kinds that I've already found? Maybe it is, but anyway, I just remember that I have LRD, and by extension, I could have destroyed the Yoctor and the center. But yeah, I don't want to be there precisely because of that. It's just a matter of me getting unlucky and losing more than half of my HP in a single turn. Yep, this sucks. This sucks. That kind of situation shouldn't exist. We're gonna re-teleport because we unfortunately cannot enter the level properly. This is fine. The Whip of Starshine is not very good. Not very good. Oh, I accidentally cast another one. I wanted to cast Iron Shot. Yeah, I will leave behind the Whip of Starshine. It doesn't really apport anything that I don't already have, so whatever. Okay, Center Warriors. We can deal with them. I am at the point where I can actually like sticky flame them. It's not the end of the world. That's not the best play. Wow, rampaging was super helpful there because it prevented me from taking one turn of launcher damage. Those guys deal extra damage with their launchers. Oh, this is the one guy that is actually like really scary here. Um, yeah, I want to be within range of it not hitting me, like within the donut. Um, yeah, those guys suck. I am definitely not a fan. I have resistance to electricity. Wow, this character is just insane. I can't believe that. I was playing around it as if I didn't have resistance to electricity because the norm by this point in the game is that you're not gonna have it, but I do. Might as well take advantage of it. My end goal with this character is probably casting some level 9s. I don't think I'm gonna be doing extended. I don't really think I want to. If I have barely enough patience to finish a 3 rune nowadays, I don't think I want to see extended for a while. So yeah, this is going really well. On 1 hour and 34 minutes, the game says. In real time, it's been more than that, but the way that the game counts time is a bit different. Um, I don't know exactly how it is, but it is a bit different. I think it stops counting time after 30 seconds have passed once you're idle, or so. It's weird. It's weird. Mm, but anyway, it's still a pretty good indicator that we are soft 2 hours, uh, and we are like this far into the game already. Not speedrunner time. Like a speedrunner would have already won the game twice. By now. Definitely when it comes to 3 rune games, but I'm no speedrunner. Nor do I pretend to be. Wow, that's unlucky. Um, I'm casting Sticky Flame. Why am I casting Sticky Flame? I thought that I was casting Mystic Blast. Anyway, that's not good. Let's try not to die to this guy, because that would be underwhelming and disappointing. How much damage does Sticky Flame do? 2 dice of 11. It's at 100% power. I think that's the damage that it deals every turn. 2 dice of 11 every turn. If it is, it's pretty decent damage for sure. Even if it's single target. Definitely quite respectable. Oh, interesting. Who has damnation in Bolt 1? A high priest. Okay, I was expecting a monster with damnation, like a Yaktar wielding damnation or something. But I will also take a high priest. It's not nearly as dangerous as a monster wielding damnation. Mm, looking pretty good. This is about time. It definitely is time for me to get poisonous vapors and toxic radiance. Freezing cloud. Do I care about freezing cloud? I'm gonna lean towards no. I don't think I care that much about freezing cloud. It's not a bad spell. In fact, I think it's pretty good, especially in combination with Mystic Blast. Mystic Blast freezing cloud can definitely get you like a rune. But I don't think I care that much. Where did all those guys come from? Getting marked is such an awful thing. Oh, I'm trying to shoot that from the quiver and it's not doing it because it tries to shoot to this one. That's annoying. All right, not bad. I think I'm just gonna stay here behind the Spellforce Servitor. And yeah, this would be the kind of situation where it would be great to have poison magic to support the Servitor because the stun arrow has less range than poisonous vapors. It also has less certainty with the whole it checking evasion. Mm. So I think the time has come to get poisonous vapors. Okay, now that I have that, maybe get a bit of poison magic and air magic. Hep feels like cheating isn't as fun, but it's winning you the game. Hep is really, really strong. What makes you not have fun with Hep? Like, what's the unfunny part about it? Tell me more. I wanna hear about it. Poisonous vapors, alright. And I also have ignite poison, so we're gonna be casting a lot of that using LRD or stun arrow against the few monsters that are immune to poisonous vapors, such as these slimes. Oh yeah, the beauty of poisonous vapors and ignite poison. I'm gonna get like 7 of these. 7 and 5. 5 should get the job done for magic. I don't intend on getting a high level air magic spell. Lightning Bolt is fine. I wouldn't say that I dislike Lightning Bolt, but it's just something that I don't really get that often. I'm gonna close the door on those guys because I don't really gain anything out of fighting them. And that's not good. I have Toxic Radiance. Toxic Radiance would be extremely good right now. It also feels a niche that I have yet to feel with this character, which is a spell that hits the entirety of the screen. Toxic Radiance is that. So probably I should like go a bit harder on poison magic. It's a slippery slope into going Noxious Bog, but I think that I might end up doing that since it's so good. Gonna need this to be 9 and this to be, yeah, that's fine. I don't know if I will go for Noxious Bog, but at least I'll go for Toxic Radiance. It shouldn't be difficult for me to get this. I don't wanna get trapped in. Yeah, that's pretty bad. I'm gonna re-teleport for safety, because there's theoretically a world where I just beat all of these guys, but it's unlikely that such a thing will happen. So I'd rather just play it safe and not be fighting a bunch of humans while trapped in the room with them. Humans can be quite scary. That ring is not that good. It's kind of average. There's some characters that I've had that would be very happy to have such a book or such a ring, such a Randart, but not mine. Not today. Um, Toxic Radiance. Let's see if we can learn it. We successfully learn it mid-fight. That's convenient. Yeah, I got it because now with Toxic Radiance, I actually feel like I can beat all of these guys. Um, it makes such a huge difference. I am casting it with so much spell power too. It's lasting forever, and that just gets the job done. It drastically increased the power level of my character to have that. It also is a spell that doesn't interfere with I was gonna say with my ancestor, but like with Spell Force Servitor. I do have to say that the ancestor and Spell Force Servitor fulfill very similar roles. Um, so yeah, if I ever like say my ancestor instead of what I mean, you know what I'm talking about. Instead of the Spell Force Servitor. That was a good reminder that I had LRD, so LRD should work very well against these vampires. I wonder if the Ancestor sees invisible. It doesn't. It should, in my opinion. It's a relatively high level summon. Why does it not see invisible? Yeah, this got very, very strong very, very quickly. Um, we should be able to win the game now. Or like we pretty much already have everything that we need to win the game. We have good damage, good resistances, good variety of spells. We have everything. It feels good. It's been a while since I've had a character as perfect as this one. Um, and my previous wins in the tournament were good characters as well, but they were not characters that had everything. Pretty much all of them were missing something at some point, whether it was resistances or defenses. This one doesn't really have resistances. Like, I guess 1626 are pretty good resistances for a spellcaster, especially a spellcaster that's not pumping dexterity. But I don't particularly care about resistances. At the end of the day, I am a spellcaster, so I just win fights in like 3 turns because that's what spellcasters do. Um, and it's gonna get even better once I have like high level spells. I don't really have any jets. Um, Vehumet is very close to providing me with the real good stuff, with like mm, the crystal spears and the firestorms. Yeah, if I get firestorm, I would try to go for it. It's very expensive, but I have 37 intelligence. Like I have some pretty good stuff, and I'm also a worshipper of Vehumet. Depot worshipper of Vehumet, the perfect kind of character to go for firestorm. Um, and to think that I almost didn't stream today after yesterday. Yesterday was pretty exhausting. It took me so long to get to this point, only for the character to die because like I ran out of consumables. But this character has barely had the need to use consumables because it's actually a strong character. It feels real nice to have a good character. I recommend it. What do we train for next? I actually have no idea. More dodging, more fighting. I'll get more fighting. Fighting is good. I could also get 21 spellcasting for the title, but I think I'm gonna get like 15 fighting first, then 21 spellcasting. Another Brodax or another like sky weapon. The game has been plentiful on sky weapons today. Been getting a lot. Okay, this is the kind of situation that I got Toxic Radiance for. And I love to see that it doesn't last for like 2 turns. It actually lasts for quite a while. Usually enough for me to poison some monsters to death from full HP, which is great. You know, one of the greatest changes in recent times has been the addition of spells to the quiver. At this point, it may not feel so recent. There may be some people who eventually watch this who have never played a version without that, but like let me tell you that I did play a fair amount without such a thing, and it changed the game quite drastically for the better. Like I am always gonna be in favor of such like good quality of life changes. One of these guys has a glaive of flaming, and is mighty. Yeah, unfortunately you're only poisoned, so yeah, this is not good. There's no position on the screen where I can be in without like using a scroll blinking that puts me away from this mighty Bolt Warden, so I probably should have just like blinked away. I think if I do this, the guys are immediately on feared because I have Toxic Radiance. I'll use blinking because I think it's the safest thing to do. This is fine. The bolt hits you but does no damage. That's an interesting line of text to get. Very unheard of line of text. I know this bolt. That's an arrow bolt, or at least it looks like one. Yeah, it looks like a little bit of an arrow. Oh, it's not. It's just like a square bolt from bolts. Very common bolt, but it did look like an arrow bolt from depths for a second there. That Convoker almost convoked. It came pretty close to convoking. Mm. This character is a breath of fresh air. Definitely. It's not only the fact like it's a very strong character by default, but I also got some pretty sicko mode loot. The kind that I have not gotten frequently in the last couple of versions of the game. So I'm very glad to, have a good character for once. A character that actually lets me enjoy the game instead of suffering the game. On 16 armor class, you should probably be taking damage from bolts. I agree. I agree. But I'm not gonna complain about it not being the case. What's my plan for final floor of bolts? Probably not doing it. I don't always do Bolt 5 with all of my characters. It is optional after all. You do have 15 runes to choose from. Lately, I've liked the Abyss rune quite a bit since it's very, very fast to get. Usually, by the time I get to the point where I need a third rune, I'm like, okay, this would be where I would just go into Sot, but I can't because the game wants me to have a third rune. So what I do instead is go into the Abyss and just get that rune instead. I can also go into Slime. With the way that this character is shaping up, I could get Noxious Bog. Noxious Bog destroys the slime. It's an absurdly powerful spell for slime. Um, yeah, it's okay in other parts of the game, but it absolutely excels in slime. It's like such a beast spell for slime because nothing flies. Nothing that matters flies. I guess eyes fly, but eyes can be easily killed, and they don't really pose the direct threat of killing you. Um, you could theoretically also do the same in Bolt 5, like just go downstairs and immediately Noxious Bog and kill a bunch of dudes like that. Mm, but I'm not sure if I care about doing that. Shtawa dies. That was quick. Pretty good. We got scales. Not that it matters, but we got scales. Abyss Rune is pretty easy these days. Yeah, I like that it's so fast to get it. I really enjoy that about the current version of the Abyss Rune. I do miss the 2 potions of experience. I think that was a pretty good change. I warmed up to that change quite a bit, and I was sad to see it go. But I also like the current iteration of the Abyss. It's not that it got destroyed with no compensation whatsoever. Um, no, it got changed, and it made it equally pleasant and desirable to do for a player. Um, Though I do think that the previous reason to go to the Abyss was more of an ideal gameplay reason than the current one. The previous one was like, okay, this version gives no experience, and I am like experience level 23 about to go into Sot. So let's go do the Abyss for those two potions of experience. Um, it would be interesting to like revisit 0.28 and try to do the Abyss as a third rune every time because I feel like the 2 potions of experience that it gives are a pretty big deal. I don't think you get 2 level ups from doing Bolt 5, especially at that point in the game. You could also just do Bolt 5 and get experience level 25 and then just do the Abyss for your final level ups before even entering Sod at all. Um, so yeah, that's why I was a bit sad about seeing that be gone. Oh, with this dagger, I have resistances good enough to just go win the game. This character, I am so happy about this character. You have no idea. Definitely a breath of fresh air after the constant suffering that has been this tournament for me. Mm, I don't particularly feel like I'm doing anything different than in my other characters. I just feel that this character is powerful, and not only powerful, but it's also quite resilient, due to the fact that I like actually have some pretty good loot, which is the difference between this character and pretty much all the other characters, successful or not, that I've had in the tournament. Um, LCS, Shatter, and Polar Vortex, no Firestorm. Surprising that I didn't get Firestorm. I don't have any training in Ice Magic, and Vehumet offers me Polar Vortex. I am not going to get Polar Vortex. It's either Firestorm or Bust, but I might get Shatter. Shatter is pretty good. Mm, I could also get Crystal Spear. Crystal Spear is a 12% chance to miscast. I'm going to Amnesia Iron Shot, and I'm gonna get Crystal Spear. Goodbye, Iron Shot. Hello, Crystal Spear. Yep. Now my servitor will be casting Crystal Spear, which will deal quite a bit of damage. For me, Crystal Spear deals 10 dice of 13 with quite a bit of accuracy, pretty good. For the Ancestor, it's gonna be significantly less damage than that, but it's gonna have pretty good accuracy too. A bit of less range as well, which is a bit of a shame, but it's not as much of an issue. Okay, we're pretty much done here. I would be surprised if there was more dangerous things in this level. Now, should I get more Earth Magic and more? I probably should, since after all, Crystal Spear is kind of a spell that you want to spam. I'm gonna get 17. I can afford to go lower than usual because Vehumet pretty much. Also, this gives me time to think about whether or not I do want Noxious Bog. Um, After doing this, I can go do Spider, and I anticipate that Spider is gonna be easy. Um, I anticipate that Spider is gonna be easy because I have Toxic Radiance. Also, my defenses are not as squalid as they used to be. 1626 are pretty okay defenses for a character that doesn't want to get hit that much. With a melee character, I would be absolutely terrified to go in here with these defenses. But with a mage, it's fine because my defenses are only supposed to like protect me for 1 or 2 turns. That robe is okay, 7 intelligence, but I'm not gonna be putting that on. It is a robe, and I have a much better one, I think. Yeah, I have a robe of willpower. Actually, my robe is like the weakest part of my character's gear. It could easily be upgraded. The helmet too, but I'm just talking about the robe because I feel like it's much easier to get an upgrade from the robe than it is to get an upgrade from the helmet. Um, Okay, new Servitor with Crystal Spear, 3 dice of 36, quite a lot of damage. Um, yeah, it was nice to get Crystal Spear finally, but it's not as much of a game changer as you would think. Since I already had Iron Shot, it's not like it enables my Servitor or anything. It just makes it a bit faster to kill things, and makes it deal more damage, which I guess is okay, but not as impactful. Funny thing to just see an orb of destruction wander into the screen. It's not something that you see very frequently. There's some ghost moth. That's really, really scary. I have invisibility, so I'm gonna use it. It's the only one that I had. It's right there. Okay. Not toxic radiant, sticky flame. Yeah, there we go. Sticky flame is pretty good for ghost moths. They're not fire resistant and they cannot dodge it. So yeah, pretty easy kill thanks to Sticky Flame. Sticky Flame is pretty okay. I liked it better when you could like cast it and then run away from monsters. That was a pretty good spell. It was pretty good, but kind of lame. As it is right now, however, due to the existence of attacks of opportunity, I don't like it. I feel like attacks of opportunity kind of nuked any niche that Sticky Flame had, apart from like extremely specific characters like the one that I have. The game plan with this used to be Sticky Flame and then Mystic Blast in case you were not here when I was at that stage of the game. Of course, now we have transcended the need for doing that, but it was okay while it lasted. Definitely, it was not weak by any means. I don't like that. At the same time, I do have decent amounts of HP, so even if it hits me, which it did, it only dealt 49. I feel like those very often deal somewhere in the vicinity of 50 damage. I wish I know which direction it is. I think it might be here. I'm gonna cast Sticky Flame in that direction. It's not there. It is there. Okay, I ran out of mana, but I did reveal the Ghost Moth. Let's go for Chimera. We get a Mature. It doesn't have any ranged attacks. Does it see invisible? It doesn't see invisible. It has poison resistance. Clouds of Fire. Displace it so that it hits the Ghost Moth. You killed the Ghost Moth. Yay, let's go. Okay, I think I could just skip this place. It's unlikely that anything here will like be a significant upgrade for my character, other than maybe like a Randart or Scroll of Acquirement. This place doesn't really generate much in the way of loot because its denizens don't really drop loot because they don't use loot at all, right? So it is reasonable to skip this place, I think. So I still have Stone Arrow, but I don't have Iron Shot anymore. That was replaced with Crystal Spear. Stone Arrow has a niche that Iron Shot and Crystal Spear cannot really completely render obsolete, which is the fact that it is much cheaper than they are. It also doesn't deal that much damage, but sometimes you don't need to deal that much damage. Like for example, against most of these spiders or like the demonic crawler, I value the ability of hitting it with multiples of stone arrow than like casting 2 iron shots and having both of them miss, because that feels really bad, missing with 2 iron shots. This looks like a nasty bolt that I probably shouldn't be walking into. Maybe. Yeah, it definitely looks nasty. The torpor snail. It's quite spooky. I think it's time to summon a servitor. Hopefully we're almost done with the level. I don't really want to spend much more time here. We're probably getting closer to the 2 hour mark. Oh, we're already in the 2 hour mark, so that means that I have 1 hour left to get one more rune and then go do the entirety of SOT and win the game. SOT 5 is going to be my greatest worry because that level usually takes me quite a while. Another Ghost Moth. I don't have invisibility anymore. That sucks. Fogu? Fogu is pretty good because it reveals invisible monsters. It can serve as Gito invisibility. Okay, that's pretty good. I didn't want to cast Servitor. I wanted to cast Crystal Spear. That was an accident. Oh, open level. Open level means that I probably should skip it because open levels are absolutely miserable. Yeah, there's nothing worse than going down the stairs and seeing a bunch of open tiles and a bunch of monsters. This character can do with it quite well. It's not like the end of the world for this character, but it is still very, very annoying, and I would prefer not doing it. Man, this character is so strong. Have you ever heard about my affinity for deep elves? Because I really like deep elves. In fact, like it wouldn't be a stretch to say that the reason why I'm playing Crawl today is because I eventually decided to play a deep elf. Everyone recommended against me playing a deep elf. Like they were like, "Oh, you should play something like Spriggan or Deep Dwarf." And I did win. Like my first two characters, my first two one characters were Deep Dwarfs, right? But the true reason why I stuck playing Crawl was because Deep Elf is just like strong spellcasters. I have an orbital orb of destruction. Oh, it wore off, or rather, not that it wore off. They're permanent, but it hit me. Mm, 9 strength. If that was 9 dexterity, it would be significantly more interesting. That has Crystal Spear. I'm getting the money. Easy acquirement for money. So anyway, as I was saying, I played Deep Dwarf, and my Deep Dwarf Earth Elementalist as my first win was a pretty okay character. I think I had Shatter. And then I played Deep Dwarf Earth Elementalist for 15 runes, and it was rather difficult, but I did get the win after enough time passed. And then I played Spriggan, and I played did I play Spriggan? I think I played Spriggan and then I like decided that I hated that playstyle. But then I played Deep Elf, and then I got hooked on Crawl. Deep Elf made me get hooked on Crawl super hard because they felt powerful and they felt pretty strong. I never really felt like I was limited by the low amount of HP that Deep Elf has. Um, so I was able to enjoy them to their fullest because I didn't feel hindered by the greatest weakness that they had, because they had more than enough power to make up for it, unlike something like Spriggan. Back in the day, there was no cat. Cat was not a thing that existed. I think it was implemented in like 0.9, and my first win was in 0.8. My first couple of wins were in 0.8. Mm, so yeah, that's the story of how Deepov got me to stream Crawl. Because otherwise I would have probably been like, after that Spriggan, I probably would have been like, if all other Crawl characters are gonna be like this, I think that I would rather continue checking other roguelikes and then never come back to Crawl. Um, because my first roguelike was NetHack, right? I've mentioned this multiple times already, so you probably already know. But my first roguelike was NetHack, and then after I got burnt out on NetHack, I tried a bunch of others. Dumarel, which I did win a couple of times. Not in the highest difficulties, however. But I did win it a couple of times. I also played Brogue, which I never won. I played Slashem. It took me very few attempts to win Slashem. Mm, but I wouldn't go back and play Slashem again, since it's just like more of what I don't like about NetHack. Yeah. It has guns. Did you know that Slashem has guns? Mm, but anyway, that was it was NetHack, Slashem, Dumarel, Crawl, of course. Crawl is the one that I really stuck with. Um, but those are the ones that I tried. Also a bit of Brogue. Mm. I have Jupiter Hell. Maybe after the tournament, I'll play more Jupiter Hell. It's not something that I've really played a lot of. Hopefully the Ghost Moth dies because I'm out of juice. Because Ghost Moths are very funny. Yeah, I don't really have much to do other than wait for it to die. Unfortunately, it does end up dying. That's nice. Yeah. Back in the day, Deep Elf Fire Elementalists used to be really, really strong. Mm, but it hasn't really been like that for a while. I think that I can use Immolation here. That's okay. That's also okay. Still at high enough HP that I'm not afraid of getting hit by immolation for the third time. Though it is good if I can like prevent it. Oh, the ghost moth is not something that I was taking into account. Yeah, you never want to see a ghost moth, or I guess be in the general vicinity of a ghost moth. It's not really seeing them. I'm gonna re-teleport for my own safety. Um, Very bad teleport. We have already cleared a sizable amount of the level, and it landed me in one of the few spots that still have monsters. Um, Pretty rough. I don't know if I want to teleport again, or if I just want to stay here and fight. I think that I'll do that. I'll actually stay here and fight. Um, Servitor. The Sunlight cannot kill me, right? It can. With a pretty good roll, it could kill me. Let's avoid that possibility, because it would be sad if such a nice run came to an end due to me getting exceedingly unlucky. Though I think that's how crawl runs usually come to an end. Just like player gets unlucky and then player dies, and then developer laughs. You're too confused to cast the spells. Okay, we should be about to get the second rune. Like, we already cleared the bolt, so I'm just like out exploring, getting rid of everything. In this specific level, it's probably for the best if you get rid of all the monsters on both sides of these bolts um, before actually trying to pick up the rune or trying to open the rune bolt. There we go. Turned off how to pick up for potions of Cirque because I'm a spellcaster. I have not meleeed anything in the entirety of the game, like to try to kill it. If something got meleeed, it was by accident. It was not intentional. I hope that I killed the ghost moth. I don't see it. Well, anyway, I don't want to find out if I killed it or not. I just want to run away from here. I have 2 runes. It's 2 hours and 10 minutes. I have 50 minutes to get the third rune and stuff. Let's go to depths. I said that I was gonna skip this, but I went through it without really a lot of complications. I think that my third rune is probably gonna be Abyss. I feel pretty powerful to be able to do the Abyss. Alright, Crystal Spear is at 3%. So I can, the reason why I got Crystal Spear is to be able to go ahead and do SOT 5 like that. Like, Crystal Spear can serve for the purpose of killing Orbs of Fire, especially if you couple it with Servitor. Like, whether your Servitor kills the Orbs of Fire or you kill the Orbs of Fire, so it's pretty good. I can probably dive these. I can probably just like not fight these. Is it safe? It's not safe. I am lacking quite a bit of experience. I'm only experience level 20 after all. But I could theoretically just like dive for SOT and then clear SOT. Man, this is so strong. This is such a strong character. Having a blast with it. Crystal Spear deals 10 dice of 14 right now, in case you were wondering. Apart from my body armor, I don't feel there's like a lot of upgrade that my character needs to be in the receiving end of, because it's already a pretty good character. It's always been a pretty good character. Alrighty. Oh, that's a bolt with an encrusted demon trident. Yeah, I don't like that particular bolt. It's very annoying. The Soul Eaters can fly, so they promptly fly over it. 3 Soul Eaters is kind of nasty. Nothing that I cannot deal with, but like I need to switch to my trusty dagger of resistance to negative and resistance to corrosion. I think I would rather like wield that for the rest of the game, even if it nerfs my damage somewhat. I like the Hat of the Invisible. I'm gonna put that on. We can probably get rid of the Staff of Conjuration. The Sling of the Building Penguin can also go away. Yeah, in case it is not real obvious, it is a sky weapon. Um, yep. Alrighty, let's continue. Some trolls. No earth mages, which are the ones that kind of hurt me in that position, so we're fine. It would be nice to have a beam, but I don't have that. But it's not like I need it either. Yeah, I tanked one attack from that mighty iron troll, and it was not that much of an issue. Let's try to clear as much of this as possible. Unless I get a reason to like skip the level, I probably shouldn't skip it. I'm gonna do Depths 4, and then I'm gonna go to the Abyss, and then we can probably go do Sot. Needs to enable one skill for training, huh? Let's get Spellcasting. Spellcasting is a good skill to train, since it gives me more mana, and I like having mana. Alright, Spriggan Circer is kinda spooky. I have 63% chance to hit it with Crystal Spear. I would rather play it safe and use Ice Blast instead, which 100% of a chance hits the monster since it's an explosion. I like things that remove uncertainty derived from evasion. Okay, I need my Servitor to get the job done on that Soul Eater. Pretty good. Alrighty, alrighty. Servitor is a pretty strong spell. In case you have never used Servitor, yeah, I like it a lot. I'm very glad that I decided to go for it with this character. It's definitely been a very huge assistance to my character. In fact, I think I should probably put Crystal Spear in the quiver. Yeah, I mean, I think that at this point a single Crystal Spear or two is gonna kill monsters quite easily. And then if I notice my mana dropping to dangerously low levels, I can always just cast Servitor. So yeah, my resistances are great thanks to the dagger. I have all the resistances that I could possibly wish for. Definitely lacking in the HP department, but like it's not an issue. I'm not really checking my HP that much, so it's not that bad. Do I have a port? Port would be a really nice thing to have right now. Okay, that's a scary. I'm glad. I'm glad. What's up with this door? I mean, I'm not complaining. It's definitely been quite useful, but I wonder what's up with it. Regardless, I cannot continue doing that. I hate that bolt. That bolt is one of my least favorite ones. This one is also pretty bad. This is a level wide bolt with a ton of experience. Takes very long to do, so I think that I'm also gonna be skipping this one, hoping that the entrance to the abyss is not in this level, because the entrance to the abyss can be in this level. There's randomly one entrance to the abyss in all the 4 levels of depths, which is not very good for the purposes of actually finding and going into the abyss. Okay, I was not expecting my HP to drop that quickly. 43 damage from multiple airstrikes. Yeah, 2 airstrikes and 1 attack, 43 damage, and then I took 26, and then I took 9. Unfortunately, a lot of Spriggans. Very spooky situation. I kind of want to go upstairs, but I feel like I could die if I go upstairs. On the other hand, if I stay here and do anything that's not going upstairs, I feel like I would 100% die, so let's try to go upstairs. It does work. I'm not going down those stairs again. Fighting 2 Spriggan bands at the same time is a bit outside of my capabilities. I do kill them, but I don't kill them that quickly. Yeah, I don't kill them fast enough. Especially now if I have to fight so many of them at the same time. But like, give me 1 or 2 at the same time, and I have no issues with them. So I have to journey through this level to find another set of downstairs because the one that was offered to me is not really accessible unless I want to teleport, and I don't want to teleport. Mm. Alrighty. Um, Servitor is getting or is giving me unlimited value. It's like really being great. Another Spriggan Berserker. Servitor one-shots it. Oh man, like Servitor is such a good spell. It's really, really strong. Mm. As good as a Conjuration should be. These kinds of fights are actually not the end of the world. They're kind of annoying because it's like full of high-level monsters that can deal significantly large amounts of damage to me. I would prefer not to have to fight those, but it is certainly doable. Okay, please hit it with a Crystal Spear. Thank you. Yep. It's slightly worrisome to fight the Iron Dragon. I think I'm just gonna stay behind my dude. Have it hit the Iron Dragon with Crystal Spear. Hopefully we can run past these guys. Ooh, 9 mana at the cost of 1 pip of resistance to negative compared to my current weapon. And resistance to corrosion. I don't think I have that from anything else. No, I don't have that from anything else. Um, what gives me poison resistance? By the way, it's not this, right? Oh, you cannot. Oh, I pressed caps lock by accident. I was not sure if you could check the items that you had equipped with pressing the keys, but it's because I had caps lock. All right, good to see that you can still do that. Okay. I think I'm okay with sacrificing resistance to corrosion, only temporarily. Like, I can still wield it if I need to. Sky. Oh, sorry. Weapon. Alright, let's continue. With my journey through the depths, I feel like I've slowed down quite a bit in here, in depths. So my character is so good that even though I have not upgraded my body armor, I've had pretty much the same body armor since the very start of the game. It's still doing extremely well, and yeah, this is what I wanted to see. I don't want to do the entirety of that level. I also don't want to do the entirety of this level since this level is just like an open level. Open levels are definitely nasty, and levels with Spriggans in such high abundance are also extremely bad. Gonna go for one Ice Blast, and then I am going to Ignite Poison. That gets me the kill. Gonna get some intelligence because that's what you get whenever you're playing a spellcaster. Finally experience level 21. So when nice fairy scales, they're not highly enchanted, but they're pretty decent with the tree slaying. They always have resistance to corrosion. Fairy scales. I was about to say something when the enchantress appeared, but I kinda completely forgot what I was going to say. That's a shame. I felt like it was something important too. I didn't kill the enchantress, but that left her almost dead. There we go. Goodbye, enchantress. Ouch. Been getting hurt quite a bit. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like the smites. I don't have file of floats. File of floats would be a good thing to have. Very low on heal wounds, but of course it is understandable to be rather low on heal wounds. I think that Mystic Blast hits Saint Roca. Saint Roca should be in one of these styles. I don't know exactly which one of them. I don't know which tile it is. Oh, Saint Roca has an Arbalest. No wonder my HP drops so quickly. I'm blinking away from that. Because that's too scary. Invisible Saint Roca with an Arbalest is not something that I can really deal with. Flights. That's not something that we want to see. Why are there so many Spriggans in this level? I mean, I guess it's okay, except for the fact that Saint Roca is chasing after me. If I didn't have Saint Roca on my tail, it would be okay to deal with this Spriggan Berserker. Oh man, it's another full Spriggan band. This sucks. Yeah, okay, that killed the air mage as well. Was not counting on that. That was convenient. Let me put on the Hat of the Invisible before I forget about it again. I need that right now. There we go. Don't think I lost any amount of armor class. I wonder if I should train for it. Probably not. Probably not training armor class. Lots of potions of attraction on the character that doesn't really care about them. Let's take a look at this. Nothing that I want. Pretty good book, however. Big book. Volume 7 is not the good one. Volume 2 is a good one. Don't care about that. Okay, no spells that I would like to get. I didn't see Farstorm there. Farstorm is pretty much the only thing that I would like truly be interested in. Saint Roca with a launcher is still a pretty nasty monster, regardless of it no longer being invisible. Oh, it's not only Saint Roca with a launcher. It's Saint Roca with a launcher and poison resistance. That blows my mind. Saint Roca got everything today, but fortunately we also have a lot of power. This is the entrance to the abyss. I think I'm just gonna go in right now. Gonna try to get the rune and then get out. Hopefully it won't take me very long. Yeah, the power of Crystal Spear is definitely quite high. Having it actually hit things and one-shot those things is super good. Vehumet also gives me almost a full refund on killing some of these very high-level monsters. So that makes Crystal Spear significantly more usable than it normally would be with like any other character. Theoretically, you could go Sif Muna and use Sif Muna channel for Crystal Spear purposes. But if you go Sif Muna, you're not gonna have Crystal Spear because that's just how Sif Muna is. Oh, things are kind of spiraling out of control here. I don't like this. I especially don't like the fact that I don't have any mana. Okay, that did get me back quite a bit of mana. Crystal Spear, 35, doesn't matter. Crystal Spear again. The -4 intelligence is slightly annoying, but it's not really that much of an issue. I don't think we're finishing this in under 3 hours. I think it would have to be a miracle if I can finish this in under 3 hours. Maybe I should switch to a different spell. That's not Crystal Spear on the Quiver. Maybe I should go back to Stone Arrow. I think I'm gonna teleport away from this. It's not very dangerous monsters. I'm not like at immediate risk of dying, but like if I feel like I'm kind of stuck there, and I just wanna find the downstairs. Oh, okay. I mean that's not good. That's pretty bad. But it's gonna be interesting to fight one of these guys. I wanna see how I compare to it. Come on, where's Crystal Spear? Oh, there it is. The Tormentor dies. Oh, it missed. A gateway leading out. Oh, I'll take it. I'll take it. Rest to full mana. Go back down. And there we go. We go deeper into the Abyss. We want to get to Abyss 3 pretty much as soon as possible. Once again, I do the same thing. Once again, I do the same thing. Okay, that's interesting. How much potions? I have 7 mutations. Just wondering in case I have to drink some. And there's an unzero chance that the Abyss will mutate me. Okay. You detect the Abyssal Rune. Wow, so quickly. Let's go. Okay. I also saw a Kraken. Hold on, I want that experience. Give me that Kraken experience. I think that killed the Kraken. Oh no, it didn't. There we go. Yeah, that's a lot of exits. You always use Death's Door, but for Vehumet it's something that you don't have Necronomicon. I never use Death's Door. Even on characters that are like pretty powerful 15 rune characters, I don't use Death's Door. It is a nice escape button to have. Like, I do learn it, but I don't generally use it. I kind of want to rest, but I'm gonna rest. Better safe than that. Rest to full mana. Go in. You don't have a shield because angels don't have shields. Okay, spell for Servitor. I need you to do your thing. I think this bolt has a Juggernaut at the end. I wonder what this bolt is making reference to with the Juggernaut. Oh, Ophanim. There used to be a player called Ophanim in the community. But not anymore, of course. That was like many, many years ago. Yeah, I think behind that door there's a Juggernaut. That door is pretty useful in cigarettes. DD control blink cast? I mean, I guess, but like cigarettes are kind of boring. I don't generally do cigarettes. Don't misunderstand me. I'm not telling you that Death's Door is bad or anything. It's just that it doesn't normally form part of my my win kit on any character, whether it is a 3 rune character or a 15 rune character. Alright, that's 21 spell casting. Let's just turn this on and this on for the rest of the game. Which hopefully won't be for much longer, since after all I already have the rune. Didn't I get a funny message when I picked up the rune? Doesn't matter. Is this crystal wall? Okay, it is crystal. So I can use it for big LRD damage. Oh, gateway leading out. Yeah. Okay, there we go. That's my third rune. Let's go do Depths 4 and just go into Sod. Going into Sod with 130 HP. This room is full of mimics. Don't get excited for the loot. There's very little amounts of loot. There's loot, but there's very little amounts of loot. I think it's random what items there get turned into, or are mimics and what items are real items. But as you can see, I didn't really get a lot of items there. I think I only got one item. Pretty fancy bolt. Juggernaut. Spooky Juggernaut. Yep. That's not something that I am interested in having in my life, so I'm gonna blink away. The Berserker dies easily from that, but I don't want to have anything to do with the Juggernaut. I'm gonna re-teleport, and I teleport before it gets to me. The Stone Giant throwing a rock at me was kind of spooky, but I did have some pretty good evasion, so whatever. I can probably go back and kill it. 2 hours and 32 minutes. I already have 3 runes, so it's only a matter of like going to SOT 5 and getting the rune right, or like getting the orb of SOT. The Juggernaut kind of ran out. Okay. I don't have Curare. What's up with that? I don't have Curare. Did I drop it in like a bolt or something? I think I probably did. Anyway, Juggernauts die very easily to Crystal Spear. Crystal Spear is like really, really high quality damage. If it misses, it's very sad. But if it doesn't miss, it's very likely to one shot whatever you were aiming at. It's really good like that. Okay. I'm glad that I didn't remember to switch away because I'm gonna need resistance to corrosion for these caustic strikes, and I'm sure there's gonna be more than one. Yep, this play or like caustic strikes generate in bands in this place, which is extremely messed up. They have fire and cold resistance, but they don't have poison or acid resistance. So you can hit them with acid damage, or you can hit them with what I'm doing here, poisoning them. I don't wanna risk it and go for going for Crystal Spear only for it to miss. I don't wanna have that happen. Okay, we killed a Spark Wasp and a Fire Giant and a Caustic Strike. There should be another Caustic Strike, right? Oh no, it was a Shapeshifter. It was a shapeshifter. Wow, very misleading shapeshifter. I like that. That's pretty funny. That should happen more often. Shapeshifters generating as like next to a monster that can generate in a band in the same shape as the monster, and then shifting away to mislead you into thinking that you're fighting a band. That's actually pretty funny. I do have a Cosmic Strike band here. A Golden Dragon, same very ugly thing. Are these shapeshifters? Is one of these a shapeshifter, or is it just like really that messed up? Poison? Come on. Poison doesn't really do anything. I would have preferred acid, obviously. Okay. Gained quite a bit of experience there because I gained 2 levels in fighting. Like two points of HP, rather, by fighting those guys. Alright. We found the entrance, so I can just go in. Going into SOT at experience level 21. If the game still gave you 2 levels of experience for doing or for getting the Abyss rune, I would be going into it with experience level 23, which would be nice. Yeah, the Abyss giving experience is not something that I'm particularly fond of, since it incentivizes grinding for levels in the Abyss. Like, you could theoretically do that. I'm not gonna do it because that's super boring, right? But you could theoretically do exactly that, and it might even be optimal. I prefer the solution of just getting experience from picking up the rune. Man, look at that Mystic Blast, just getting quite a lot of damage in. Okay, I got to experience level 22. I wanted 22 before going in, just for the teeny tiny bit of extra HP. I didn't think that it was gonna take me a lot of dudes to get that. This is a very messed up setup, I have to say. The dispersal trap will immediately push me away from the entrance, which is a bad thing, especially only having one scroll of linking. What I'm going to do instead is go upstairs, re-teleport, go downstairs. That blinks me, obviously. It doesn't. It's actually not so obvious. I got blinked due to the purple draconian, not because they stepped on the dispersal trap, but it was going to eventually happen anyway. I teleport into a very bad spot. That's not good. Yeah, of all the spots where I could have teleported, it just put me back into the fray. I guess I can just like kill these guys. They're not really that bad, right? Okay, yeah, that's very annoying. You generally want to avoid this from happening. I don't even know where my Spellforce Servitor is. Did it get like dispelled, like abjured. It probably did get abjured. It's getting constantly blinked away, which is absolutely awful. I kind of need that guy. Okay. Please hit the Yellow Draconian. Pretty good. Not bad. Fighting all of those guys didn't really get me that much experience. That's crazy. Okay, and I still have to deal with the shifter. I don't have enough mana to shoot 2 crystal spears there, so I choose to go for servitor. Crystal spear misses. No, it does hit, but it doesn't deal that much damage. Um, but servitor gets the job done. Servitor really such a good spell, such a bro. So good that I should probably make an emote for servitor. Hey, look at that elevator. We are going to be taking that. I'm a big fan of the elevator bolt. It's so useful. Magic mapping. Ooh, pretty rough set of downstairs. I'm gonna have to go through a sizable amount of the level to get to the downstairs. Better play it safe. But play it rather quickly too. I only have around 20 minutes to do SOT and then get out. If I want Speed Demon 3. Speed Demon 3 with a spellcaster is interesting, since I've always been a champion of the idea that spellcasters are inherently slower to play than non-spellcasters due to the fact that spellcasters just like have more actions to take other than OTAF. There's someone a servitor in case I get in trouble here. Doesn't seem to be the case. I was anticipating getting into 1 or 2 fights, but I'm glad to see it wasn't an issue. Okay, from the stairs, this is the best. Yeah, I'm just gonna take this. Gonna clear the entirety of this level and then do SOT. Let's go. Am I going to get Speed Demon 3? Because I could also die. If I die, that would be sad. So I hope I don't die. I don't like the idea of taking so much damage so quickly. I was not at full HP when I opened this door. Wish I had Tin of Tremor Stones. Normally by this point I would have it, because normally by this point I would have done like Slime and maybe Bolts 5. I would have done many other parts of the game that I just decided not to do this time. That's not an issue. After all, I do have poison resistance. I'm gonna heal it, because why not? Oh, I drank Brilliance by accident. Brilliance is gonna be useful regardless, because it halves the mana cost of my Crystal Spear. And it's not like I only had one, I had 7. So yeah, this is actually pretty good. Pretty good indeed. Okay, we found the entrance. We're pretty much done with the rest of it. I am just gonna go for it. Yikes, I got a Crystal Spear miss there. For a second, I almost said Silver Spear, because Silver Spear is a Rift Wizard spell that is very obviously inspired by Crystal Spear from Kroll. I don't know how I feel about fighting that. It was an exploration trap. Mark is usually something that you want to see in SOT 5 because it just like greatly speeds up the process, but I'm not at full resources. I'm gonna drink Brilliance and Haste as well, and Resistance. Summon another one of my dudes. Step away from the dispersal trap. It's kind of scary. Ancient Leech is kind of spooky. Don't want to have anything to do with it. I am going to use a potion of mana just for a mana refill. It was like unavoidable that I was gonna have to use potion of mana. 3 Ancient Leeches. That's pretty scary. Yeah, 3 Ancient Leeches at the same time. Okay, that's 1 Ancient Leech gone. I still have to deal with the 2 Orbs of Fire, 2 Ancient Leeches. Fortunately, I have 3 pips of fire resistance. Also, pretty okay defenses, so it's not the end of the world. It's just that the crystal spears, or like not the crystal spears, but the fireballs are gonna hurt because those ones can't be dodged. Berserker of Guardian is not something that I want to see. Yeah, that's really bad. I might have to blink away from it. This is a bit too much that I can bite. I probably have to blink away. Let's get lucky. Let's get lucky. Yeah, I just wanted to step away to greatly reduce the amount of tiles that were revealed inside of there, because a random blink could put me in there, so I didn't want that to happen. That could have been pretty bad. Mm. Got hit for quite a bit, 38, and on Bolt of Fire misses. I'm kind of glad that it did. Do I use my last blinking here? I am fast, but this is faster. But it's almost dead as well. I can just like kill it with Crystal Spear. Yeah, that's not helpful, Electric Golem. Get into the corridor. Corridor secures. There we go. I'm gonna try to kill the Electric Golem. It misses. That's rough. I still have a bit more mana. Got the worst mutation in the game. Should I heal it mid-combat? I am going to. I would rather play it safe. Heal it mid-combat. Horns. Hidden potential. And beak. Fortunately, I'm not using a helmet because I would have lost the helmet. Jeez. 45 damage. That sucks, taking so much damage. I'm glad that I healed the minus a scroll potion, the mutation, because otherwise I would be like dead here. Those guys just deal way too much damage. Starting to lose the haste. Lost the mark as well, but that's fine. Am I doing it so early to finish under 3 hours? I am doing exactly that. I'm gonna lose the resistance as well. Does it matter? Not really, not that much. Okay, I'm gonna need my Servitor to hurt the Lich very hard right now. Can I use Size Blast to try to hurt the Orb of Fire? Can I? No, I can't. So I guess I just have to do this. I still have Brilliance. Lost the haste. Gonna reapply it. Another Orb of Fire. I at least have 3 pips of fire resistance. Goodbye Servitor. Need another one. Lost a bit of mana. That's not the worst thing ever. I would prefer to have a bit of mana, however. Your resistance element expires. Let's refresh that. Crystal Spear hits the Orb of Fire. Your fire severely damaged. Let's do it again. Out of mana. Misses, by the way. Potion of mana. I have 2 of them. That would have been a pretty difficult SOT 5 to do if I had done it in the Bolt, just because it was a bunch of very high level monsters. It was a bunch of Orbs of Fire, a bunch of Ancient Liches. Not that many Killer Clowns, however. But I think we're done now. I'm just gonna hide behind it, behind my Servitor. Cast a little bit of Poisonous Vapors, Ignite Poison. You kill a Killer Clown. Yeah, I am mostly out of resources, so I'd rather not continue spending any resources into continuing the fight here. I resisted the temptation of Crystal Spearing there, and I instead went for Servitor. There we go. I'm gonna try to rest to full HP, full mana. That was a spooky, especially the part where I got hit so hard. Cloak of Willpower, but it's not as good as what I currently have. Like, the cloak that I have is truly insane. It's like one of the greatest items that I found in Crawl this year. Okay, my Servitor is getting rid of the Dread Lich. Let's go. Come on, get the job done. Oh, it's not getting the job done because the Dread Lich went invisible. That's cheap. That's cheating. It was totally about to win until it went invisible. Okay, another Ancient Lich. Like, how many of them have we already seen? It's been like ridiculously large amounts of Ancient Liches. That's insane. And I feel like I would have a much better time with Crawl if win or lose games lasted 3 hours tops, like this one. Mm. As I've always mentioned, for my it's not disdain, but like my disliking of SOT 5, or like not SOT 5 extended, is that not a fan of spending multiple hours, like 6, 7 hours on a character, only to go to extended and then die. I've never liked that. So yeah, I think that you can reduce the time frame just a little bit. Instead of being 6 or 7 hours, it's more like 3 or 4 hours, and then have it die, and like it still holds true. Anyway, we're probably done with SOT 5 after all that onslaught. It only got me one level up too. The levels that you would get from the Abyss are or were extremely impactful. Like it was such a big deal. Okay, let's keep pushing through. I have 12 minutes. I can do it. I can certainly do it. Yeah, especially since I think that we're almost done. Shouts to Wizardry, or to Brilliance, by the way. Brilliance is giving me quite a lot of value. Like, it's letting me cast Crystal Spears without actually instantly running out of mana, which is extremely helpful. Mm. Unless we get a really messed up orb run, I think we got it. Yeah, I did use my final blinking, so that's unfortunately increases the chances of getting an extremely messed up orb run. Normally, I would just blink away from whatever's nasty. Um, I think that I'm just gonna pick up the orb and run for my life. Mm. Pretty good teleport. Not what I wanted to see. It's great actually. If I had cleared the previous level, it would be an incredible teleport. But I have not gone through those stairs, so I don't know if they're safe or not. Gotta step next to it so it doesn't cast damnation on me. Efreet appeared as a part of the orb run effects. It's not an issue. The servitor gets rid of the Storm Dragon. I'm gonna dig because I have that. Endgame luxuries. Mm, That's not the Beetoad stairs. These are the ones. I'm glad that I remembered. Otherwise, I would have gone up those stairs. These one lead into a teleport or like into. Oh no, no. The elevator is in the next level. Okay, it's looking pretty good. I have 3 hastes for running away purposes. Man, I'm glad that this the only reason why we were able to do this is because the character was like extremely strong. We have some extremely good loot very early into the game, so with good loot there was less reason for me to explore. I am going to. Did I do the entirety of the previous level? I did not. So I have to go through the Beetoad stairs. That's not great. Um, yeah, that's not great. Where are we? We're here. The stairs are there. I'm gonna haste and run for my life. What if I just kill everyone? I think that's just the correct thing to do. Yeah. 6 crystal spears later, everyone's dead. 2 more for an iron or from ice fiend. Mind burst, metal splinters, haste, high evasion, fast, doesn't fly, very low amounts of armor class. Annoying that it generated with a band that will make it hard for me to hit it. It's looking pretty good, however. Yeah, it's actually kind of like exploding really hard. There we go, it's done. Alrighty, I feel like I got lucky because a couple of misses there would have ruined my day. Mm, The Banlord didn't have such nasty spells other than Metal Splinters. Metal Splinters is bad. Don't malmutate me, Mr. Cacodemon. Scroll summoning. So scroll of butterflies. Summon the Frost Giant and 2 dragons that are not really distracting the Cacodemon. There it is. Cacodemon dies. Let's go upstairs. Yay. Let's go to D0. Another Panlord on D15, but I don't have to fight it. I can just run for my life, which I will absolutely do. I have haste, I don't have to fight it. I didn't even see what it had. Bolt of Cold, Summon Demon, haste, Dimension Anchor. Dimension Anchor is kind of bad. It's not that bad since you already like cannot really teleport during the orb run, but it is still kind of not the ideal thing regardless. I wonder if Rupert was guarding a potion of experience, because I think the potion that was there was unidentified. Another Panlord. The game is really intent on not giving me this. I have 8 minutes. Jeez. Is it fast? Harpoon shot. Yeah, that's nasty. It is very fast and it has a ton of evasion. That's so difficult. Yeah, it doesn't have that much armor class. I could theoretically LRD it to death before it hits me to death, because it hits pretty hard, right? 48, 54% chance for it to hit me. It has anti-magic. Pretty bad blinks. I wonder if I should have hasted to run away from it. It's almost dead. Okay, we're killing it with LRD, all right. 51% chance to hit with Crystal Spear. Yeah, that's all that I needed to see. All right, that was nasty. I would have preferred not to fight that, but fortunately I had the perfect tool for the job in the form of LRD. Obviously would have preferred to have something like Firestorm to kill it significantly faster. Do you have a shield? You don't have a shield. I also have a very bad chance of hitting you with Crystal Spear, so might as well summon Servitor. Get me out. Get me out of here. What kind of tournament is this score time? There's different categories. You accumulate points depending on the on how you do in the tournament, I guess is the way to put it. Also, hey, yep. Once I'm done with this, I will hook you up with my page for the tournament. You can browse around it. Like there's things that you can click, and then you can probably figure it out on your own. Like what's the categories in the tournament and stuff. There's like banners and there's other things to do. And we're done. Oh, we're done. I got poison resistance from my good mutations. That's nice. From evolution. Gonna drink flights. And 2 hours and 55 minutes. Barely made it, but we made it regardless. This is a pretty low experience level win too. This is definitely gonna be my lowest experience level win in the entirety of the tournament. Very happy about this one. It was rough, but it was not really rough. What was rough was the rest of the tournament. That's what I'm thinking. This one was a breath of fresh air in the face of adversity in the form of this version. Twitch.tv/9th Settler. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and seal the deal. Oh man, this, like, the power of Crystal Spear. Good stuff. Good stuff. Do recommend Crystal Spear. Alrighty. 97th place. In terms of high score, it's probably gonna be my highest score this tournament, unless I go for a 15 runer. 23, swimming in a sea of 26 and 27s. I see 124 and 122. But yeah, I'm the only 23. There we go. It is done. 2 hours and 55 minutes, almost 56. That's gonna be it for me tonight. Let me hook you up with my page for the tournament. Give me a second. I have it here.